0%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM. Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123, 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You're not put here to be a white man's footstool. You're put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
To Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornel West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017thetruth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. Personally, it's easy for me to pick a political party that I'm going to support. Now, I say that knowing that political parties are flawed because they are made up of people. And I think nowadays we've got to lower our standard. First of all, don't go into politics thinking it's going to solve all your problems. Some of our problems are our fault. Some of our problems are our bad decision making, and politics is not going to fix that. If you have an idea, or if you have a wish list or a trajectory for your city, for your community, for your state, for your nation, big goals, big lofty goals, politics could be a way in which we enter into those discussions and we have vigorous debate. Doesn't mean it's going to solve everything, but we in this country have to have a place in which we can talk, find some agreement, then we move forward with a bill, an ordinance, etc. It's not going to fix all your problems. And what politics has done, I think what's really done, like the worst part, the unintended consequences, it has moved people away from substantial debate on the issues and the things that we want to see improved. We might want to see a different economic climate. You might want to see wages higher. You might want to see the cost of healthcare, which has gotten more affordable. It's still too expensive, but you want to see more of that. If you're of a younger generation, you may have major and grave concerns about the climate. This is where we enter into the discourse to have these discussions about what we can do based on what we agree on. And we've lost that. Now it's very personal. You know, your politics now describes who you are as a human being. Got two major political parties. I think you guys know that. There's the Democrats and the Republicans. And some of you, and rightfully so, have grown more discontent with the Democratic Party because here you see the obvious things. The obvious things are for a whole bunch of years, generations, decades, whatever, until the parties did a major switch. And I'm not debating that, because if somebody thinks that this is the same Republican Party that Abraham Lincoln was a part of, you already lost me. See, with those people, we cannot have a debate on the issues on improving things in the city, in the state, in the country, because they don't even know where the Republican Party is. This is not the party of Lincoln. It is the party of Trump. It is a man who is facing 91 felony counts in 4 jurisdictions. Even judges that he appointed see the criminality in his behavior. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, or if you look at what's obvious, well, things haven't really changed for black people. And this is the number one argument that a lot of black Republicans, or even some white Republicans that are trying to tell black people that we're stupid. You got to keep in mind, white people in one form or another have been telling black people that we are stupid since we got here. So them now interjecting themselves in our political choices is nothing different. They're always telling us we're stupid. In fact, anything that we do is lackluster or unimportant or uninspiring until they steal it. So if you are a black person, and some of you are not, and you say, look, wait a minute, we've been voting for Democrats for all these years, and nothing has changed. In fact, things have gotten worse. Crime is worse. Poverty is just as bad as it was. Wages are too low. Still got all these other issues and problems. The education system is not performing as we believe it should. You can go on down the line, right? So look at everything that you believe is wrong in black America, and you can very easily blame the Democrats, because that is where we have been putting our vote. And when you do that, because you see the Democratic Party is very diverse. It's straight, it's gay, it's female and feminine, it's union, it's entrepreneurial, it's immigrant. It's a whole bunch of things. It's like the diversity, like the melting pot of America is not New York City. It's really the Democratic Party. You got some of everybody. And because you have some of everybody, it's really hard to find agreement. But instead of blaming a party, instead of saying, well, it's the Democrats' fault that black people haven't advanced. And I'm saying this specifically to those who encourage republicanism. It's not one political party's fault per se, because what a Democratic Party has to do, it has to fight the Republicans on everything. They're impeaching Joe Biden. Here's just an example. Like, we're not moving forward on issues and on policy, on things that can make this country better and safer and more prosperous. They're impeaching Joe Biden for no reason, simply because they can. That's it. There's no high crimes and misdemeanors. President Biden has a junkie son. Their President Biden, wait, this wasn't even when Joe Biden was president. When he was vice president, you can't impeach a man for stuff he did as vice president. He's got a junkie son that he loves very much. We know how Joe Biden loves his kids. And maybe he did some things to try and help his junkie son make some money and get a bit of a stable life. I see people in our community do it all the time. The extraordinary lengths that we go to help our junkie relatives. And yeah, I said junkie relatives. I got them in my family too. They just want to impeach him just because they're mad that they impeached Donald Trump and it stuck. In fact, impeachment is the deal that Kevin McCarthy made, who's the Speaker of the House, to get his speakership. There's not the votes to impeach Joe Biden, so all they can do is open up this thing called an impeachment inquiry. You're going to hear much more about that, and so I'm going to explain it to you. I'd rather you hear it from me than hear it from somebody else, like hear it on Fox News. It is the most powerful thing that a House committee or speaker can engage against the executive branch. There's no evidence. In fact, there are 18 Republicans in the House of Representatives that are representing people in districts in which Joe Biden won in 2020. Those are what we call swing districts. Those Republicans are walking on a tightrope. They cannot be involved in impeaching a president where there is zero evidence and think that they're going to get reelected. So there's not even the votes to move the impeachment forward. All they can do is start asking a bunch of questions. You got to keep in mind this whole Hunter Biden thing, they've been investigating this for 9 months. And they've come up with nothing. You know what this is? And we're falling for it again. The whole Hillary Clinton email scandal. But the emails, and there's something in the emails. And if you mention the emails right before the election, then maybe you can change enough people's minds to think that Hillary Clinton is a criminal. Regardless of how you feel about her personally. Because personally, Hillary Clinton probably doesn't like a lot of us. It will go down in history. Whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. Because if you don't believe it, doesn't make it untrue. If you don't believe it, makes you a non-believer. Not electing Hillary Clinton in 2016 is probably one of the largest mistakes the electorate of this country has ever made. Look at what has happened. There has been an attempted overthrow of the government. Women have lost the right to choose. And you have a president who is facing hundreds of years in prison, but he's still leading the Republican Party. Don't let me digress. So when we as black people look around and we see that things aren't really changing, and then we look at the other commonality, well, we all vote for Democrats, it must be the Democrats' fault. It's not. It's white people's fault. They don't want you to look at the impact of race. They want you to blame something else. You know what they really want you to do? They want you to blame one another. As far as black unity goes, because I hear us throw it around all the time very casually and cavalierly. Oh, if black people just come together. Oh, if we just work together, we can get all this stuff done. We can only move as quickly and as efficiently as the lowest among us. Period. So think of the trajectory of the 10-year-old boy that murdered his mama, or the 17-year-old that is planning on stealing a Kia this afternoon. That is where we are as a people. And if they are not moving forward with all deliberate speed, the black folks at the top are stuck as well. We only can move forward as a community as the lowest and least ranking amongst us. That's why we're stalled, yet we blame each other. Now, we can't get anything done with politics, apparently, because the Democrats versus the Republicans is on the verge of revolution, if not civil war. Can't move together as a unified race of people because we can only move at the speed of the understanding of those who rank the lowest amongst our community. Therefore, we are stuck. Well, we're going to get unstuck. That's why you listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I got some things today. I want to provide some clarity just so when you hear other things in the media, you'll know what the real truth is and what the story is behind those stories. I do at some point want to talk about the disaster I believe is going to be with the Republican convention coming here next July. Ultimately, I think it's going to help the Democrats because once we see the agenda of that political party, because we're going to see it firsthand in our city, in our faces, I think it'll make it a lot easier for people to vote for the Democratic alternative, which is old Joe Biden. And yes, he's old. We're going to talk about that too, because that seems to be a major concern. Joe Biden's age is more of a concern than Donald Trump's dementia. Let's be clear. At the end of this next presidential term, Trump is going to be 82. These dudes are literally the same age. In fact, they would have been in high school together. So if we're going to make the case about Joe Biden's age, then we probably should make a case about Donald Trump's dementia, because I think people think it's funny when Trump goes on these rants on his social media platform, Truth Social, and they think that he's sharp and they think that Donald Trump is witty. No, Donald Trump has dementia, but y'all just package it differently. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it today. And of course, your questions and comments are always welcome. You can text us at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017, or you can call the number if you are so inclined. A lot to discuss today. Hope you stay with us for the long ride. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, this is 1017 Truth Be Told co-host Denise Thomas, and I am Milwaukee. Milwaukee is so important to me because as a transplant who relocated to Milwaukee 20 years ago, there has been so much that has been poured into me, and I have to return that contribution. This station is important for our community because it provides exposure and representation. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their Community Uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a Community Uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
The summer of 2023 will not soon be forgotten as the impact of climate change blanketed our city, literally. Canadian wildfire smoke gave Milwaukee some of the worst air quality in the nation, if not the world. Also, these impacts, because of climate change, showed us that there's yet another disparity for us to be concerned about. African Americans are much more likely to have respiratory illnesses, and black children are much more likely to have asthma. In fact, the Office of Emergency Management data shows a disproportionate amount of calls for respiratory issues because of that wildfire smoke, at 54.8% have been from African Americans. African Americans have higher rates of pre-existing health conditions that would be exacerbated by the particulate matter in that wildfire smoke that we know was caused from lightning and extreme drought conditions to our neighbor to the north in Canada. Black children are much more likely to have asthma than kids of any other races in America, and much more likely to live near polluting plants and in rental housing with mold and other triggers because of the racist housing policies in the nation's past. Their asthma is often more severe and less likely to be controlled because of poor medical care and the mistrust of doctors. Just when we thought we had all the disparities we could shake a stick at, here we go again with Canadian wildfire smoke as an extension of climate change negatively impacting African Americans. Climate change is a global issue. It is a national issue. It's a local issue. Admittedly, the black policy struggle for equality has not focused on climate change, but if the summer of 2023 has showed us anything, now it certainly should be.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Mike from Mill Road says, I love how people pick and choose. Like, they'll pick and choose things that they'll like send in text messages, maybe a debate they think they can win. And I think we just have different perceptions on things. Like, you may think of something a particular way. I may think of it a different way. We might actually agree, but I think how we originally view a particular issue is where the differences are. And here's the thing. Let me try and explain this to y'all the way I understand it in my head. The differences that we see, feel, and experience on the exact same issue is where talk radio exists, right? So abortion, and Mike from Mill Road says something about women losing the right to choose. I believe that they do, but the issue is abortion, and where we differ on abortion is where we have our discussions. And I don't know if we're trying to win each other over with our compelling arguments, but if anything, we are telling more about ourselves, our understanding, and our beliefs about a particular issue. Like, that's what talk radio does. The other thing that we do, and I got a great article, whether I get to it or not is another thing, that talks about this thing that we do in the media called agenda setting. It may sound sinister. Well, some cases it is, but we have this tremendous responsibility that I think most of us completely take for granted. I don't take it for granted. I have seen black media in this city be reduced to a thread. I've seen black talk radio been reduced to a single person 2 hours a day. That was all we used to have. One human being, 2 hours a day on one radio station, and that was me. And I was afraid for this art form. I was afraid for this information sharing platform that we as black folks in the most segregated city in a state that is the absolute worst to raise a black child, that we were losing our voices. So when I'm here, I'm overjoyed because there is now a future for us in this town to have these conversations. But when we do this thing called agenda setting, those of us that have a respect for what that is approach it differently. I'm not going to tell you what to think because I've tried and it fails. Can't tell you what to think, but what we can do is we can tell you what to think about. I'm not going to tell you this or that. This is right. This is wrong. I mean, sometimes I might, but we're going to tell you what to think about. And then when you're thinking about the topic, the subject, that's when we can have our discussions. Mike from Mill Road said, LOL, women lost the right to choose, question mark, question mark. Then he says the sensationalism. All right. In the state of Wisconsin right now, it is a felony for the doctor who performs the procedure and the woman who receives it. I'd call that a loss of choice, especially when, a year and a half ago? No, not even a year and a half ago, May of last year. So April of last year, that was not a felony for the doctor or for the woman. It is now a crime. So, Mike, in your reasoning, it's almost like, we've lost the right to rob a bank. No, if you rob a bank, it's a crime. If you have an abortion, it's a crime. You also have to understand America's love affair with what we call criminal justice. Creating laws and creating penalties. We love it. We love to do it at every single level because we believe that's what keeps society operating on the straight and narrow. This is also where policy fails because at the end of the day, Democrats and Republicans want to make stuff illegal. If we see bad behavior or if we see something forming that could have everlasting damage on our democracy or to our vulnerable people, we make it against the law. And we're usually all for it. Yeah, make it illegal. Make the marijuana illegal. Make all the things illegal and all the bad things illegal. We love making things illegal because that is a way in which you can force people back into slavery. There's a little known or little red clause that forced bondage in the United States is no longer legal, legitimate, or constitutional, and you can't pass a law that will abridge that right. So you can't put somebody in slavery. What you can do is accuse them and convict them of a crime, then they become slaves again. Only under the commission of a crime can you then essentially reinstitute slavery. And the other thing is, when people are in jail, right, whatever their confinement is, let me say prison, federal and state prison, you can give them opportunities to work, can't you? There's people that work in jail and will tell the public, we're giving them a skill, right? They're learning a trade in jail. When they could have learned it, they could have learned it outside of jail, but whatever, we got them in jail. We're going to get them a high school diploma or a GED, and we're going to teach them a skill and pay them how many dollars an hour? $1 an hour, maybe 25 cents an hour. And we have industries that are built off of slave labor still to this day. And you thought the slavery was gone? See, this is why they don't want us to talk about the critical race theory. And this commercial that they're airing is starting to bother me more and more and more because this is what we are fighting against. We are fighting against a cohort of people that subscribe pretty much to one political party versus the other that believe that slavery was a good thing for us, number one, because it taught us stuff. We learned how to do all the things. Y'all must not know that we knew how to do all that stuff before we got here. White folks didn't know how to do it. But they also think, got to look at it from their perspective now, that black folks didn't exist before slavery. We weren't a race of people. We didn't have a continent. We didn't build the pyramids. We didn't perfect astrology, astronomy. We taught the Greeks how to do math. They got their philosophy from us. See, all of that stuff is omitted. And so if you consider black folks beginning as slaves, and if you look at us now, they're like, look how far you blacks have come. Why are you so angry? Look how much progress you all are making. Look how successful you are. And then they'll tell you about their black friends or their family member that married somebody black. And of course, they all love Michael Jackson and Prince and some other black artist. Oh, why are you guys so angry? Look where you are. Like, that's how they see us. They see us for what we are right now, never for what we used to be. If anything, we brought them along. We advanced them more than they ever could advance us. And so that's what we're dealing with. So in choosing a political party, I don't know why it's so difficult. Now, I think that we want a political party to fix everything. Nothing is going to fix everything. But we can have some discussions. We can talk about what we want funded. And it's pretty obvious, when we talk about what we need to put our money into. You guys are really concerned about the youth. Got to have a youth center. You all want roller skating rinks and basketball. Even the 92-year-old lady that called yesterday. Remember the 92-year-old lady? She was very sweet. Poor thing, thought she was talking to Dr. Ken, but that's fine. We want to put more money, more resources into the youth because we firmly agree that they are the future. Like, that's what politics is for. So we'll have these budget hearings where members of the Common Council, the county board, or the state legislature will ask you all, the people, hey, we're doing politics here. We're doing budget hearings. We're doing these meetings out in the public, and we're going to tell you about it. We're going to send Sherwin a bunch of press releases so he can tell you about it. Can you guys please show up or call us or email us and let us know where you want us to put your tax dollars? And guess what? None of us show up. Nobody shows up. It's like pulling teeth. Now, we did get a few 17, 38, 100, 200, 1,000 of y'all to show up for the sales tax increase discussions, which I feel bad. Well, I don't feel bad for the reasons you may think. It was good to see democracy in action, that there is an issue that can get people up out of their houses and into these dangerous, mean, unsafe to drive in streets of Milwaukee and attend the meeting. But it's disappointing because folks were getting up and getting out and getting active and being loud in their opposition to the sales tax, and that joker passed anyway. Even alders that didn't have to vote for it voted for it anyway, even though they knew their constituents and their voters' opposition to it. That's why it's disappointing, because then when there's another big issue that can get people up off the couch and out of their house and into the mean, unsafe to drive in streets of Milwaukee for an issue, they're going to lose faith. So every so often, folks like myself look for ways in which we can regain the public's trust and faith in politics. And then we get folks out and folks get all riled up and they get out there and they're feeling the energy and they're in a room with all these people of like mind on this issue. And then all of a sudden the issue fails. It's unfortunate. I got some stuff about gender, which I know you guys love to talk about, whether you want to admit it or not. And I don't want to have the discussion about the biology of gender. Can we admit that there's a biological component to it? Like certain chromosomes make boy parts and then other chromosomes make girl parts. If we can't agree on that, then we can't have very much of a discussion. Gender is much more biological. Race is a social construct. So genetically, we're all the same. For the most part, like there's some minute differences, but for the most part, human beings, our parts are all interchangeable, right? Like, Craig Karmazin is the owner of Good Karma Brands. If I needed an eyeball transplant, chances are his eyeball would fit in my eyeball socket, right? Because we're all human beings. I mean, I don't want his eyeball. I wouldn't mind eyeing his bank account, though, with that eyeball, but that's a whole nother conversation. But for the most part, human beings were interchangeable. Racially, like that was a construct that was just created, right? We have different skin color variation based upon our evolution, in relation to the equator, and, more melanin protects you from the UV rays of the sun. You guys know all that stuff. But when it comes to the boy and the girl stuff, the man versus the woman stuff, like those are real differences, right? I could look at some of the physical differences because I'm trying to illustrate at the most basic level there are differences between men and women. Like some women, I can't even say that because some men got bigger breasts than women do. I'm just saying there's biological differences. Can we at least agree on that? All right, let's agree on that. We're going to pause. And then we are going to talk about this survey that I have that says most Americans say being a man helps a person get ahead in the United States more so than being a woman. So for this survey to have any kind of validity, we first have to agree that there are some differences between men and women. Okay? We'll pause there, take a break, come back. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, I'm Natalie Shepard.
And I'm Jessup Ricebeck from the CBS 58 News at 10.
We hear it all the time from viewers. Television news is too negative.
That's why we're trying something different at CBS 58. In our newscasts, we focus on what's important to Southeast Wisconsin, and that's not necessarily crime.
We want you to know the great things happening in our hometowns as well.
What's going to help solve problems here and uplift our viewers.
We are your hometown station, and that's the type of news we're going to bring to you.
Join us every night at 10 on the CBS 58 News.
Weekday mornings on WMLW The M. Court is in session with Cutler's Court.
I'm Judge Dana Cutler.
I'm Judge Keith Cutler.
They're a husband and wife pair of judges that can take on cases that only a married couple can.
Real relationship advice and real justice, all from a real couple.
With real solutions to couples in crisis.
Love, deceit, and the pursuit of truth.
All collide on Cutler's Court.
Watch Cutler's Court weekdays at 10 on WMLW The M.
You want a challenge? Come and get the keys from Keys Ultimate Gaming. Experience a gaming experience like none other. Equipped with PS5s and Xbox consoles. Play any game from Roblox to Call of Duty. Come experience this futuristic arcade on wheels today. With friends, family, or catch them at your local events. Contact KeysGaming.com for booking. Keys Ultimate Gaming, where they bring gaming to you.
Truth Nation, are you ready to become the best business leader you know you can be? Forever Media, a Black-owned leading media company, proudly presents Lead the Movement Business Conference. This premier event, hosted on September 29th, 2023 at the iconic Henry Meyer Festival Park, aims to equip attendees with the tools and knowledge to lead effectively, innovate talent acquisition, elevate their brand, and champion diversity and inclusivity. So it's time to level up. To learn more and purchase tickets, visit ltmconference.com.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneid. Josh Donaldson homered for the first time with the Brewers, and Freddie Peralta turned in another excellent outing as Milwaukee beat Miami by a final score of 3-1 on Tuesday night. With the win and a Cubs loss to Colorado, the Brewers increased their lead in the NL Central to 4 games. Brewers-Marlins Game 3 of 4 tonight. Coverage getting underway at 6 p.m. over on WTMJ. The Green Bay Packers will be back to work later today in preparation for a Week 2 matchup against the Falcons after beating the Chicago Bears to open their season. Aaron Jones, who left the game in the third quarter Sunday with a hamstring injury, was labeled day-to-day following the game. Head coach Matt LaFleur, speaking to the media earlier this week, says they're still evaluating number 33. Brewers president of baseball operations David Stearns has agreed to a 5-year deal, and he will be hired by the New York Mets once this 2023 season comes to an end. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Most Americans say being a man helps a person get ahead in the United States, and I do not disagree with that. And there's ask a bunch of questions, and there's a bunch of percentages. There's a smaller percentage of people that say being a man, it doesn't just help you get ahead, it really helps. I believe that. I believe it really helps. There is a dynamic that exists between men. There's an understanding that goes without saying when men enter an arena together. Could be a football arena. Could be a public arena where there's debate and discourse. Could be the arena of business. There's an understanding that we are responsible for everything that we say. We are responsible for everything that we do. Our actions that we exhibit are 100% on us. Even if we don't intend for the consequences of our actions, we know that we are the ones to blame for those actions. If I get into an argument with another man, I punch him in the face and I knock him out, and he falls backwards and hits his head and dies, I can't blame anybody. If I say something rude and disrespectful and mean-spirited to another man, I got to be prepared to fight that man and maybe even die. I'm responsible for what I say. And here's the thing. If I say something rude and disrespectful to another man and he punches me in my face, okay, if I'm really mean to him and I say terrible things and I embarrass him, I berate him and I belittle him, and he punches me in my face and in my neck and in my shoulder and my chest, I can't expect a bystander to come and help me because I got to take responsibility for what I said to cause that man to act that way. Here's the thing. Most men, we don't interact poorly. We may have disagreements, but it rarely rises to that level. But we know that if we say something or if we do something that offends, upsets another man, especially if we do it with intention to hurt him, violence is always a possible outcome, right? There's a language that we all understand that allows us to continue on with the discussion without us delving into, vile tactics of being mean to one another. I don't know if women have that same understanding, because if a woman says something, whatever she wants to a man, she can be mean to him, she can belittle him, she can disrespect him. And here's the thing, you're not supposed to hit anybody, obviously. But a lot of folks haven't learned that lesson. I think that there are some women that believe that they can interact with a man as men interact with one another and think that she's not going to be held responsible for what she says and how it makes that man feel. I know if I cuss a man out in public, especially in front of his wife, his kids, and his friends, dude may want to fight me and he would be justified in doing so. So I'm making a conscious decision. If I want to insult him, belittle him, and berate him in front of his friends and his family out in public, and I got to take the consequences of that. Now, of course, this does not, consider every single interaction that men and women have, but we have a level of responsibility on everything we do. In fact, if a woman gets pregnant, we got her pregnant. She played almost no role in it. And if we decide that we don't want to be in that child's life, we're the deadbeat. She's the victim. She has the baby because we're the ones that got her pregnant, right? We have to take responsibility for that, because it's almost like we don't even put that responsibility on the woman. In fact, we give her aid. We give her housing assistance. We give her food stamps. We give her energy assistance because some man somewhere got her pregnant, and so now she is the victim with this child that she is saddled with. So it's almost like we don't even expect women to have a level of responsibility that men have. We have to be overwhelmingly responsible. And I think the language of that and the culture of ultimate responsibility does give men some advantages in this society where we got to blame somebody for something. So if something goes wrong, you blame the man because we know the responsibility on our shoulders. We are only as valued as what we can provide, usually financially. A man that can provide emotional stability is great. But if he's broke, not quite as great. A man that can protect. You hear something downstairs, somebody's breaking in the house, and it's the husband and the wife laying in bed. Does she expect to go downstairs, or does the husband expect the wife to go downstairs and find out what that is? Absolutely not. He is. He has to be responsible for even something that's not his fault, because protection and provision falls on his shoulders, right? And so when you build all that into whatever a man is, when we interact with one another, of course we are going to see the advantages of that, because women are not operating on the same playing field that we are. If a woman gets hurt, or if she gets disappointed, she can blame somebody for that. Yeah, of course she can say, I played a role in it, but for the most part, she doesn't have to, and we will listen to her. We will listen to her grievances. So when you combine all of that, now there's some benefits to being a woman. Not sure what they are, but it doesn't pay as well. Certainly more dangerous. You can have your rights taken away as a gender in one fell swoop. But I think when you ask Americans the question, does being a man help a person get ahead in the United States? Ultimately, the answer is going to be yes, because whenever you have an entity that is independent, meaning they've got to take full responsibility for all of their actions, their interactions like with themselves and their interactions with other people, including women, that is a tremendous benefit. From the Pew Research Center, more Americans say being a man helps than hurts a person's ability to get ahead in the United States these days. And that's according to a recent Pew Research Center survey. By contrast, more Americans say being a woman hurts more than helps. 6 in 10 U.S. adults say being a man helps a lot, or at least a little, when it comes to a person's ability to get ahead in the U.S., compared with 14% who says it hurts either a lot or a little. So I think the people that say being a man hurts their potential for progress are those that are like afraid of Me Too. Like they think that women have too much power, women have too many rights. You know, a woman's word, is far more powerful than anything a man can acquire or obtain. And to some extent, I guess I see that. But again, men have to be responsible for how they act and how they treat women, because it's not about how we feel when we interact with a woman, when we give her a compliment, or if we get kind of handsy, because we may think, oh, she likes that. She's asking for it because she's wearing a skirt. No. It's how the other person interprets our actions and our words. So we have to be responsible for that too. I think those men that are disconnected from how their actions and how their words can be hurtful or detrimental or assaultive, those are the ones that say, oh, being a man is terrible because I can't grab cute women's butts whenever I want to. Views about whether being a man or a woman helps or hurts have not changed much since the survey question was first asked in 2019 and 2020. As in the past, there are significant differences amongst key demographic groups and people's perceptions of the advantages or the disadvantages of being a man or a woman in the U.S. today. So I pointed this out, I can't tell you how many times on previous shows, when negotiating for a salary. So there's a language of business. And maybe it's because it's dominated by men, like in the boardroom and those discussions that men have in the smoke-filled rooms trying to negotiate stuff. There's a skill set that you learn from other men, and those skills are fortified and exercised being in the room with other men when you're entering the realm of business, especially corporate America. There's a language that you speak. There's a demeanor you must have. There's a kind of handshake you have to have. Even how you look and how you dress, the color of your tie, and even ancillary things will determine your value and your fitness to other men and whether they want to hire you, promote you, or give you the contract. And here's something else that I don't know if some women understand. Like men, we know all this stuff intuitively. Women don't. Women are notoriously poor at negotiating for their salaries. They just better take whatever, because they're probably happy that they're in the room in the first place. They're very happy they're being considered for the job. So whatever this man wants to offer her, she'll just take it. First rule of thumb, I don't care who's offering you the job. I don't care what the job is. I don't care if it's your ultimate dream job that you would do for free. You never take the first offer. If they have you in the room, they want you. There's value to you just by you being in the room having the salary conversation. You never take the first offer. And I know that may scare some of y'all because you think you may not get the job. No, it's going to show that you know how to operate in the realm of business. African Americans too. Sometimes if we're sitting in that office about to get the job, maybe going to get the promotion, and they offer us X amount of dollars, right? with, oh, I better, this is good. This white person is offering me this, I better just take this, and then I'm going to take this salary, and I'm going to work real hard, and then they're going to give me a raise. No, they're not. They're going to lowball you every single time. But I think it's our insecurity, especially our racial insecurity when we're in the corporate boardroom or we're in the manager's office or the hiring executive's office, we think that we need to take the first offer. Don't ever take the first offer for a couple of reasons. Number one, don't expect to get a raise. Number two, it shows that you have confidence in knowing how to negotiate. I think a lot of men, not all men, a lot of men understand that where a lot of women do not. There's a language to business. But here's this other ancillary thing that we don't discuss enough. Men judge other men on a few things, right? I don't necessarily look at a dude's shoes. Women do that stuff. I don't look at a man's hands and try and judge him based upon that. No, that's stuff that women do. You know what we look at? The woman he's with. The woman that a man is with communicates to the world more about him than he could ever even say. Let me give you one example, and I'm going to take a little break. Michelle Obama communicated more to the world and the voters of this country, to Democrats, to Republicans, to Latinos and Asians, more than anything Barack Obama ever could have said. In fact, I would argue that he became the 44th president of the United States because of Michelle Obama. The woman that we are with is our biggest non-verbal communication. And that's why we tend to be maybe a little bit more scrutinizing of the women that we have in our lives, because we know that the men who are considering us for jobs, opportunities, and promotions and that coveted board seat, because on the resume, we're great. We're perfect on the resume, right? We got references. We got all that other stuff. But another man is going to look at the woman and the company he chooses to keep of women and going to use that to judge him in ways that his resume could never exhibit. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth, Denise Thomas, and the time is now, Milwaukee. The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is so relevant. You deserve a sense of motivation, encouragement, and fact-based information that impacts our community every morning, and that's exactly what we're going to bring to you. So listen to Truth Be Told with me, Denise Thomas, every day from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Justice is about receiving what we deserve. Quote Audre Lorde, who said, "There is no such thing as a single issue struggle because we do not live single issue lives." And that said, any freedom, including reproductive freedom, is our human right to decide what is best for our own lives. Reproductive freedom is about having bodily autonomy, which is the same as being able to control what happens to our bodies, including the decision to continue or terminate a pregnancy, rests with the pregnant person at all times and in all circumstances. Because when rights don't apply to all individuals and at all times, they are not rights. They are not rights. And as Black people, our rights are conditional way too often, whether we're talking about during police encounters, quality housing, or, some job opportunity.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute on the new 1017 The Truth.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Hey, Rhea, what are you doing?
Well, I'm online looking to buy a home, but I have no idea where to begin, and I need help.
Have you contacted XL Property and Contracting? They're locally located on 57th and North Avenue, and they're not just contractors, but real estate professionals who can help you through the home buying process. They can even help you search for and properly evaluate the perfect home for you.
Wow, having a realtor that's a contractor would be great.
Right? Contact Al Cole at 877-277-6817 or visit their website at xlprop.com. This is 1017 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. This show has meant so much to me because it's an opportunity for me to express my thoughts and my feelings to my community, and for my community to express those same thoughts and feelings right back to me. Milwaukee means a lot to me. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and I'm committed to making this a better city. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Does being a man help or hurt a person's ability to get ahead in the United States? Some 67% of women says being a man helps a person's ability to get ahead at least a little, including 48% that say being a man helps a lot. By comparison, even 52% of men say being a man helps, and 28% say it helps a lot. So I'm in that category, the latter category, 28% that say it helps a lot being a man. Because there's a language that men speak that we develop amongst one another. Because here's the thing, we're all raised, for the most part, by women. Here's how I break it down. So my parents are still together. My parents have been married since slavery. They got married. I sure do love you, woman. We finna jumps this broom, then we finna head north. Not really sure that's how the proposal went, but probably. My emotional development in my childhood, when a boy is allowed, permitted to be more sensitive and show emotion and cry, like that was when my mother was most important as a child. My father became dramatically much more important when I turned 18 and had to deal with and work in and survive and exist in a world dominated by men. So a lot of what my father had to offer me, I mean, yeah, it was of some value when I was a child, but not like the value it provided as an adult, as being a man and now operating and navigating in this world. And I think the girls they're not ingrained in that. They're not indoctrinated in that. They're not entrenched in the world of men. Because a lot of times if you go and apply for a job, and I'd imagine when they're talking about help or hurt a person's ability to get ahead, they're talking about financially and economically. Like there's banter that men can have amongst one another. And here's the thing, I'll be honest with you, some of it is misogynist, a little bit. I think it's less so than it used to be, but that is something that we have going for one another. There's certain things that men in the boys network have in common that we can discuss to kind of ease some of the tensions in this interaction in a boardroom or in a business meeting that women do not have. Another way in which I know for an absolute fact that women are missing out or losing out or not able to get ahead is that after Me Too, men were confused, not all, but some, of the new operating procedures when communicating with women. Like how far is too far? Can you tell jokes? Can you be sarcastic? Can you remark on this? Can you remark on that? Because nobody told us what this new language was going to be in this new era of political correctness. And I also think it's why some people turn a blind eye to the plight of the LGBTQ community, because they're like something else is being added. There's another definition. There's another slur. It didn't used to be a slur. Now it is a slur. Now you got to have respect for people's pronouns, and there's a whole bunch of different pronouns now. And so people just withdraw altogether. Because in the grand scheme of things, isn't it easier to just not hire an LGBTQ person instead of running the risk of hiring one, saying the wrong thing, using the wrong pronoun, and getting sued? Same thing with women. After the Me Too movement, men were not having the networking meetings with women anymore. You know where promotions and opportunities take place? After work, at a happy hour conversation, where it's a little bit more casual, a little bit more laid back. A lot of men, especially top executives, they have a lot to lose. They will lose everything even if, and I don't know the percentage of guilt versus innocence, but it doesn't matter. If that woman feels, it's how she feels. If she feels he was being weird or creepy or discriminatory or being a sexist, that's it. He's done. It's just on how she feels at that moment. And some men were just like, you know what, I'm not sure how this woman is going to feel, so I'm not going to meet with her to discuss the promotion. We're not going to have happy hour together. The New York Times actually did a study on that and said that male executives are not having those kinds of business and networking meetings to discuss jobs and discuss promotions with women because these men don't know like what their fate will be if that woman interprets their words or their actions in a way that is below board. And that ultimately is going to hurt women's, economic prospects. If I meet with a dude to discuss, the promotion, the job, or the opportunity, I can pretty much say anything, especially in a casual environment, where if I'm meeting with a woman to discuss a promotion or an opportunity, I got to be extremely careful. So careful, in fact, you almost have to ask yourself, is it even worth hiring this person? Now you're probably thinking, well, of course you hire her. It's a calculated risk because if someone makes her so much as feel uncomfortable, the whole company might go down. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Do you need a way to uplift your fellow woman? Have you ever wished you could do more to serve your community, but just don't have the time? You can do this and more by helping Good Karma Brands support Women Build through Habitat for Humanity. And all you have to do to help is donate. The link to donate will be open until September 30th. Just go to MilwaukeeHabitat.org. Again, that's Women Build and MilwaukeeHabitat.org. And be sure to check out 1017 The Truth social media for a behind-the-scenes look of our team building a new home in the Harambe neighborhood.
Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud new home of Marquette University High School football. Be sure to tune in to Marquette Hilltoppers football every Friday night at 7 p.m. as we bring you some of the best gridiron action in the area. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Liberty Engineering, and Marquette University High School.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I know how much you love listening to me bring all the smoke each and every day from 1 to 4, but now, not only can you hear me bring all the smoke, you can watch me bring all the smoke because the award-winning 1017 The Truth is streaming live. Watch all your favorite shows live.
Yeah, Truth Nation, you heard Tory Lowe right. We are streaming all of our shows live every day. To watch the best radio station with the best on-air hosts in Milwaukee, you have to go to 1017thetruth.com and click the Watch Live link. From there, you'll be able to stream us on YouTube and Twitter and get an inside look on all the fun, like watching me from noon to 1 as I do my daily fire freestyle live. Now you know your girl got them bars, right, Benjamin?
Yeah, Mel, you got them bars, and the truth is must-see TV. So make sure y'all tap in to see my boy Tory Lowe and my girl Melanie Ricks to do their thing live every day by streaming 101.7 The Truth on YouTube and Twitter. We live, baby.
The key slides into the ignition. The engine rumbles to life. My hand grips the throttle. New gear for my ride. The road, my invitation. The sound, the smell, the exhilaration. I am one with the bike, and the car in front of me suddenly turns in my lane. Motorcycles are everywhere, but too often go unnoticed. Please, always look twice, be alert, and share the road with motorcycles at all times. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Hi, I'm Kirsten from Pentatonics. We've all learned how to cope with more time alone. With more time spent isolated or at home, the need for companionship has grown. If you've considered adding a pet to your family, please check with your local shelters and foster organizations. Stray pet numbers have grown immensely over the past several years, and the trauma caused to these animals is devastating. Adopt pets, they need us more than we know. This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
Join the movement. Listen to The Tory Lowe Show on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. So in Hour 1, I was, talking about politics, I suppose, the difference between Democrats and Republicans and the perceptions thereof. Also a Pew Research Center survey where the overwhelming majority of Americans think that being a man helps more than hurts when it comes to getting ahead in America. And I tried to give some explanation for that. I'm not trying to excuse it, just trying to explain it, that men, and this is still a man's world. Is it not? It is. Men still make up a lot of the rules. Men still make the majority of the money. Now, there's some drawbacks to being a man, too. What would be one of them? Well, we pay more for car insurance. That adds up, Rhea. It does. We are more likely to be in prison. Men go to jail more often. Okay, that's not good. Men don't live as long. Our life expectancy is shorter. Unless you're Joe Biden, then you live forever. We die in about all of the wars. We do the most dangerous jobs. So where you have occupational hazards, jobs that will kill you, like operating heavy equipment and machinery and digging ditches and doing all sorts of dangerous construction. Like, it's not women falling off a steel scaffolding 300 feet in the air building. Like, it's men. Men do the dangerous jobs. We're more likely to have violence committed against us, more likely to go to prison. Our life expectancy is shorter. We're dying in all of the wars. Like 99% of the people, when there's a war and the people go fight the war, it's men that die. So that's not, women don't really go to war like that. And we don't let them. Because I think here's how I know that there are certain parts of feminism that are cap, as the young people will say. I don't know where the draft is. I know you still have to register for it, but I don't think they will institute it. So if we ever have a major military campaign where we need to call up able-bodied Americans for some kind of military service, and it's not always picking up a gun and shooting at the enemy. Sometimes we need people to build roads and bridges. And if you're a nurse or if you have medical training, you may get drafted to, help out with injured people on the battlefield. Like, a draft is all encompassing. Right? If you have certain skills that may need you in the draft, women don't register for the draft. And if we say, okay, if everything is fair and it's equal and women can have things they can contribute in a time of war, then have them register for the selective service. Women have a fit. No! But no, men have to register. So what? Yeah, but you want equality and fairness. Yes. Well, then register for the draft. Never. I'll tell you what, if given the option to even registering for the draft is a bridge too far for them. Some of them, the most ardent feminists, will be like, I'll stay barefoot and pregnant. I ain't registering for no draft. And we don't even really have the draft anymore. But with North Korea and Russia meeting today, the Cold War is on once again. I'm expecting global calamity at some point. Doesn't it just seem like things are moving in that direction? We got 91 felony counts against the man who's leading the Republican Party right now. You got Russia and Vladimir Putin again pledging their support to aid Donald Trump. It's a bunch of just stuff going on. You got 70 plus million people in this country who are either fascist outright or very sympathetic to it. Yeah, let me run this by you. I just want to share this with you because if I don't do it now, I'll forget. If you want to know if your country is delving into fascism, and so for the rest of the world watching us, they think it's funny because every democracy goes through what we are going through right now where we flirt with fascism. Where we're anti a group of people, we're anti-immigrant, anti-progress because of what it means for the dominant group. And so every democracy, because democracies are pliable, they're flexible. And a bunch of people don't want immigrants here, or they don't want critical race theory being taught, or they're concerned that if black people get, equal congressional districts that we're going to take over. You got white folks that don't want black people to be in college coaching. You got all sorts of stuff going on. And so what they do is they coalesce around a few really basic things. America's supposed to be strong and patriotic and majority white, and white people have set the foundation for this country, and they're going to continue to do so, even if they are losing in demographic number. That's why you have things like a woman's right to choose being upended. because white women are having too many abortions, or they're not having kids at all, or they're having less children. Therefore, it is impacting what people understand about this country. So if you think you might be delving into fascism, here's a couple of tips for you. Number one, to stay a democratic nation, and we are, quite honestly, the only country that has ever even attempted a multicultural, multiracial democracy. Most other democracies around the world, basically one race of people. But America is the only place that has tried it with a whole bunch of different races and cultures and ethnicities. And it's failing. Let me just be clear. So far, having a multiracial, multicultural democracy fails. And the first couple signs, like the overt signs of its failure, what we're trying to do here in America, was January 6th. These folks got mad that a white dude won the presidency and said, no, we don't want that white guy. We want the other one. So let's overthrow the entire government because the wrong white guy won. Boo. That brings me to rule number one. You have to accept elections, win or lose. If you want to have a successful, multiracial, multicultural, strong democracy, you have to accept the elections. Now, we also go above and beyond to make sure that our elections are fair. And they are. You can't just look at the outcome and say, I don't like the outcome. Somebody must have cheated. No. We have a whole bureaucratic system in place that is codified in federal law, state law, and local ordinance. You got watchdog groups, you got lawyers, you got organizations making sure our right to vote is protected and that the process is fair. So if you want to have a successful multiracial, multicultural democracy, number one, you got to accept elections, win or lose. There's a whole political party right now that did not accept the results of the last election and went so far as to break, I can't tell you how many dozens of laws to try and reverse the election when we know that the election was fair. They didn't like the fact that people voted by mail, and mail comes in a little bit slower than when you go and actually vote on election day. How do people not understand that? Do you even know why we have vote by mail? So that American troops in foreign theaters of war could still participate in this democracy. And somebody said a long time ago, so wait, if troops that are serving in foreign theaters of war can vote by mail, like can't average everyday American citizens have their ballots mailed to them? They fill it out and mail it back. And somebody was like, well, yeah, because the post office is a federal program anyway. So we're basically using the federal government to participate in an election. So, oh yeah, it's totally fair. But because it takes the mail a little bit longer to arrive and the election results can't be tallied until all of the mail-in ballots come, people all of a sudden think that's fake. So how come they haven't been challenging all of the military voters for the last how long have we been doing it? Since the Civil War, probably? I think the first time the United States used mail-in ballots was during the Civil War. So you mean to tell me that everybody who was all fighting and defending America and defending freedom that voted by mail, that's all fraud too? Shut up. Number two, you cannot use violence as a tool to exert political will. If you are using violence as a tool to intimidate people, and we've always done that in this country, we intimidated black people from even registering to vote. We used dogs, fire hoses, billy clubs, bullets, you name it. It's a sign that you are descending into fascism if violence has to be used to have and exert political will or political influence, or violence is used to intimidate people away from voting. And the other part, this is where we're also failing. This is why I know America is descending into fascism. When you have extreme elements in your politics, right, left or right, you have to distance yourself from them. You have to distance yourself from the QAnon element. You have to distance yourself from the people that believe that Joe Biden stole the election or there was some kind of weird conspiracy going on that Donald Trump is actually the president. And not enough people are doing that. So if you have those three combination of things in your nation, your democracy is failing. If you fail to accept election results, win or lose, that's a problem. Second problem is you should not and cannot or ever accept or even consider violence as a tool to exert political influence or political will. And then number three, the American people must distance themselves and cast out any extreme elements in our politics because it infects the entire democracy, kind of like COVID. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 FM. Make sure you follow us on, Twitter. Apparently we're on Twitch, I guess, YouTube, Instagram, OnlyFans or whatever. Just follow us all over the place. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's good, y'all? This is 101.7 The Truth's Telly Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. The goal of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is to provide a platform for citizens of Milwaukee and Truth Nation to have their voices heard about concerns that have daily, direct impact. So join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Are you a mom, grandparent, caretaker, or pregnant and postpartum woman who cares for a 5-year-old or younger? If yes, then you should be enrolled in WIC. WIC is the Women, Infants, and Children program and provides healthy foods, nutrition education, breastfeeding counseling, and support. Participation in WIC is associated with better nutrition for families, but also healthier births and lower infant mortality. Hunger Task Force is here to support eligible pregnant and postpartum women, grandparents, and caretakers who care for children. Learn more about WIC and how you can support nutritious foods for infants and children at www.hungertaskforce.org.
On Diversity and Excellence powered by Erie Insurance, I am so excited to talk about the different ways that Erie Insurance can help with our community growth, can provide job opportunities from Erie Insurance Corporate, or with our local agency force. I'm really excited about the education of generational wealth in our Black and Brown communities and how we are a part of the communities here locally. There's so much more we can be a part of. Listen to me, Fred Johnson, on Diversity and Excellence, powered by Erie Insurance.
Dear hero, whoever you are, you save lives. I live with sickle cell and the pain and the issues that come along with sickle cell every day. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime, probably in the hundreds. Blood helps me to be able to live.
My final tour was in Afghanistan in 2008. I was hit June 3rd. The next thing I remember, I woke up in Germany. The doctor came in and said, "We're going to amputate your leg." I had to get a lot of blood transfusion to stay alive.
Because of you, I'm allowed to see my son grow up.
Because of you, I got a second chance at life.
Giving equals living. Give blood. Replenish the supply. Make an appointment to give today by visiting hhs.gov/giveblood. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dipping in and out of these different categories and topics might be politics, might be gender, might be race. One of the issues with the difficulty in having conversations about race is that I think different races of people see it differently. I don't know if white people really see discrimination where it actually exists. That's where they deny it. Oh, you guys earned that police brutality. You should have listened and complied. But then when you try and tell them there's a history. Ooh, don't say the word history. We don't like history because history might actually make us look like we're the bad ones. They don't see it. There's some folks that still deny George Floyd up until his last breath. Like, oh, he was resisting. The more I think about that, I know y'all don't really think about it anymore because, that was just a long time ago, I guess. They had no intention of arresting him. Have you ever really considered that? That if they had their knee on the back of his neck for a couple of minutes, and then Officer Chauvin would be like, dude, you ready to chill? We're about to arrest you. We're going to take you in. We're going to take you downtown. That never happened. He knelt on his neck until he was dead. There was never any intention to actually arrest him, book him, and charge him. They wanted to kill him. That is the worst part about the whole thing. After a couple of minutes, Derek Chauvin and say, all right, hey, officers that are now holding his legs, let's put some cuffs on this guy and then get him in the vehicle. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when you are cuffed with your hands behind your back, I don't necessarily know. This is what I've heard and what I've seen on TV. You're defenseless. You can't run when you got cuffs on and your arms behind your back. How do I know? Because I've seen it. You ever see somebody trying to run when they're cuffed up with their hands behind their back? They fall on their faces. They never had any intention of actually arresting him. But trying to get somebody who looks through a particular racial lens that believes that black people are only complaining when it comes to issues of race and how we are treated unfairly, that's why we can't get anywhere. Now, where I think that they will admit that racism does exist and discrimination does exist, but they never really talk about it. Like every single white person has a racist person in their family. Like really overt, like bad, like uses the N-word often with the hard ER ending. And you know what they do? They make up excuses for that person. I think it's changing a little bit. Like some people are not going to Thanksgiving dinners anymore, not going to Christmas dinners anymore because of that racist uncle, aunt, mother, father, grandparent. They just don't go anymore. But for the most part, white folks make up excuses or just say, oh, that's just how Uncle Charlie is. He hates the N-words. There's nothing we can do about it. But then when you do a further analysis of who Uncle Charlie is, he owns a company, he owns a business, and his attitude that he shares with his family about black people and about Mexican people and other racial minorities translates into how he treats those employees at his business, or he does not hire them, or he pays them less. That is why we can't ignore that casual N-word used by Uncle Charlie, because he may have a tremendous amount of power. Uncle Charlie might also be a senator, right? So his casual use of the N-word might impact and influence his legislation that can further do harm, irreparable harm, to some of those vulnerable minority people. So I think that they know that. Like they'll see discrimination there, but I think they dismiss it. And then they're quick to tell you, but I'm not racist. Yeah, it don't matter if you are or not. And so what sometimes those white folks will do, because they try and combat it, because they think that racism is bad. And I say that because even a white racist gets offended when you call him a racist. Like, oh, harsh words. I'm not a racist. I just think white people are better. So what they'll do is the white folks who, see racism all over the place, see discrimination everywhere, and they sometimes get this profound sense of guilt, which is never our intention. We're not intending to make you feel guilty. Guilt just comes natural when you do bad stuff. We ain't trying to make you feel guilty. You know who's very good at guilt? Catholics and Jews. They use guilt like it's a weapon. Black folks, we haven't really used guilt like that. And so what'll happen is you'll have the white folks that are like super liberal and super progressive, like, oh, we want to help you and Black Lives Matter, and we'll make a yard sign and we'll wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. But even that's short-lived. Remember in 2020, even like at this time in 2020, September of 2023, 3 years ago, you go through the suburbs, you had Black Lives Matter signs in all the white people's windows and in their yards. I think, were we still protesting in September? I don't know. Something was going on. Oh, we were getting ready for the presidential election. It was a lot going on 3 years ago, all still related to George Floyd. And then it very easily transitioned into politics. Hey, Racism exists everywhere. It exists in policing. George Floyd is dead. Don't vote for Trump. He's a racist. Vote for Joe Biden because he's probably less racist. So it all kind of fit together. But remember all the white folks that were down for the cause, wearing the T-shirts, marches, rallies, protests, and even the ones that weren't marching and rallying and protesting, they had the yard signs out. Black Lives Matter had the signs in their windows. All those signs are gone. They're gone. People have a march somewhere in New Berlin, West Haven, Elm Grove, Oak, Franklin, wherever they were having the marches. White folks be out there giving out water. Here you go. Have a water. Black Lives Matter. Throwing their fists in the air. They ain't giving out water no more, are they? So even when white folks want to do the right thing and want to be down for the cause and want to participate, it's only temporary. We'll read some text messages, shall we? Got a few of them here. Did I read this? Mike from Mill Road said, women lost the right to choose, ? The sensationalism. And I said, in Wisconsin, abortion is a felony for the woman and for the doctor. And I said to Mike, we must have a different definition of choice. Vanessa G says, good morning, Sherwin. Good morning, Vanessa. I was listening to the replay of Tori's show from yesterday, a great, well-rounded discussion. Thank you. I enjoyed it. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. It's rare that I'm on Tori's show, but Tori was on assignment, which caused him to be a little late for the start of his program. So myself and Carrie and Benjamin started the Tori Lowe show just until he arrived. And when Tori got here, I was ready to leave. But he was like, hey, you should stay for another segment. And I stayed for the whole hour, but it was good. I typically don't really go on other host shows. It's weird. I don't like it. Sometimes I will. I got to be careful when I go on Dr. Ken's show. Because I don't want to argue with him. Dr. Ken is easy to argue with about anything and nothing. Rhea, I know you got to agree. Dr. Ken will argue if Dr. Ken gets slightly bored, well, that's why you're stupid. He'll just say stuff. I don't like what you're doing. Uncross your legs. But where I really get Dr. Ken is on climate change. He don't want to have that discussion with me. I run circles around Dr. Ken. If he's listening right now, he's probably, darn it, Sherwin. It's a hoax. C says in regards to how men suffer, I wouldn't necessarily call it suffering, but we have different outcomes. Men do. We do certain things, there are certain expectations that are put on us. And if we deny those expectations that are put on us, you know what they do? They attack our manhood. If you're not tough, if you're not strong, if you're not a protector, and you're not a provider. But here's the thing. We as men have to protect and provide for everybody, even a stranger. We saw that with the woman that got bricked, which was a hoax. I know there's a debate going on whether it was a hoax or not. You guys remember Reginald Denny? You should. During the LA riots of Rodney King. Or was it? Did we riot for OJ? No. When did we riot in LA in the 90s? It must have been Rodney King. Okay, Rodney King. People were mad in LA. And they beat up a bunch of people. And they broke into the stores and they looted the stores. And then the Korean people got mad at us and we got mad at them. It was a whole thing. There was a guy named Reginald Denny, and he made national, if not international news, because he was a truck driver, meaning he drives a truck. And he was driving through the riot zone. I don't know where he was, Watts or Compton, but it was a bunch of riots going on. And when did Rodney King get beat at 91? I was in high school when it happened. And they had helicopters because the LA got police helicopters, and they had helicopters. And they show this guy driving his truck. And his people are in the streets and they're rioting. Bad timing on Reginald Denny's part because he's just trying to complete his route. Poor white fella driving in the middle of a riot zone. He's probably in his truck like, look at all these N-words. Hope I can make it out alive. These N-words look angry. Let me just drive my truck. They're not going to attack me. I'm driving a truck. Well, they pulled him out of his truck, and it's just because he was white. And at that time in L.A., because racial tensions in L.A. have always been like bubbling just under the surface, And so Reginald Denny, wrong place, wrong time, driving his truck when there's a whole bunch of Rodney King riots going on, maybe in Watts, maybe in Compton, maybe both. They pulled him out of his truck. You know what they did? They beat him up real bad. And they hit him with a brick. Seriously, like they hit him in the head with a brick. And there are pictures of what it looks like when a human being gets hit in the head with a brick. Now, I'm not asking you to look it up because it's gruesome. He didn't die. His skull got fractured, though. He got hurt real bad, but I don't think he died. And if you look at his injuries, it's not even consistent with the woman who said she got hit with a brick. The other thing is the angle and the photographs of the woman that got hit with the brick, it's only with her looking straight at the camera. You can't, unless they got other photos. Carrie and I got into it yesterday on Tori's show, because Carrie didn't think it was a hoax. And I was trying to tell Carrie, I was like, no, it was a hoax. This woman, like, she did something else not too long ago. She did another hoax to go viral, and then she did a GoFundMe. And she's doing the same thing now. I mean, it's a horrible thing to joke about. Like, you don't joke about getting hit with a brick and then blaming black men for not helping you. And then a woman who actually at some point in time, is really going to get beat up and assaulted and accosted and is really going to need black men or whoever the bystanders are to help her. And a lot of those men will be like, nope, it's a hoax just like this lady. So you don't ever see the side of her face that actually got impacted by the brick. You only see her looking straight at the camera with the side of her face swollen. But if you look at when Reginald Denny got hit with the brick in the 1991 LA riots or 92 riots, whatever the hell it was, they show what the injury actually looks like. Dude has stitches from the top of his head to like his chin from being hit by the brick. And his face wasn't even all that swollen. It was cut. You know what I mean? So it's just not consistent. But again, and they use that to say, oh, black men are worthless because you didn't help this woman who got hit with the brick. And so, nobody really knows. Maybe it was a hoax, maybe it wasn't. I tend to believe that it was because she's done something similar like this before, raised money off of a viral sensation because she starts a GoFundMe. But then they use it to discredit and to defame black men. Like we're supposed to help everybody all of the time, no matter what. And if we don't, we are somehow considered less of a man. We would never say that about white men, ever. If a black woman got hit in the face with a brick and there's a bunch of white dudes standing around and didn't say anything, like, oh, well, white dudes just pull out their cameras and record it. We wouldn't say nothing. We wouldn't diminish their manhood because they didn't help the black woman that got hit by a brick. All right, let's see. C says men pay the most in child support. Yep. You want to talk to an angry woman? Talk to a woman that pays child support. You want to talk to an even more angry woman? Talk to a woman that was married, got divorced, does not have placement of her kids. She may have joint custody. Placement and custody are different. She's got joint custody, meaning the mom, the non-custodial mom that has joint custody has to be consulted, like when the dad and the kids move, what school they're going to go to, when they're picking a religion. They got to sign off on documents to get the kid a passport. Like that's custody. Placement is who actually gets physical placement of the child. And the person, the custodial parent that has placement, gets child support. Talk to a woman that pays child support because she does not have, for whatever reason, placement of her children, and she pays alimony. If you ever have the luxury of talking to a woman that pays both child support and alimony, she sounds worse than a disgruntled man. Oh, she hates the system. She hates her baby daddy ex-husband. Oh, they get so angry because I think there's a sense of entitlement that if a woman gets married and gets divorced, she owes the man nothing. Even though the child support is for the kids, even though the rules for alimony are supposed to be the same across the board. If your spouse was accustomed to a particular lifestyle based upon a level of income, because y'all get divorced or there are irreconcilable differences, doesn't mean your spouse gets cut off. I have been involved, I'm not going to say multiple, but one woman for sure that wanted to get married again. So she was married one time. She screwed her marriage up. I mean, she came to terms with it, I don't know, 7 or 8 years after the divorce. So she screwed her marriage up, got divorced, but she had an alimony agreement. Alimony agreement was for 10 years, and it was a lot of money, y'all. It was a salary where she didn't have to do nothing at all, and she didn't really do much. She just like did a bunch of nonsense stuff and traveled, whatever, because she was getting heavy alimony. And she was getting child support too, because at the time they had minor children. So she had this agreement, and she wanted to get married again, you know, because her husband remarried pretty quickly, and she wanted to get married again, but she couldn't. I shouldn't say she couldn't. She didn't want to, because if she got married, that would end her alimony. So it was a 10-year agreement where he was going to pay an exorbitant amount of money. I felt sorry for dude. So for 10 years, she got this dollar amount, this monthly dollar amount, unless she got married or if the 10 years expired. And I'm sure there were men, I certainly wasn't one of them, they probably considered marrying her, but she was like, no, lifelong love and marriage to someone I can actually be with and grow old with and have a companionship with and a partnership with isn't worth me ending early my alimony agreement. That's just greed. I wouldn't really want somebody else's money like that. Maybe I'm funny about money. I don't, because then people like think they own you, right? If you're supporting another human being to where they don't even have to work anymore, like that's not a flex. Ladies, if you think it's a flex to brag about another man paying your bills and paying your rent, you're a bum. If I'm over here bragging, yeah, I got this woman paying my mortgage, she paying all my bills. I'm a human sex trafficker when you think about it. Like that's pimping. But I don't know why they think it's a flex. Rhea, do you think it's a flex if a woman literally brags about men paying her bills? I got men giving me money.
No.
Okay. You kind of had to answer no on that. It's kind of bummy. Or how is that like you're manipulating men? And here's the other thing that those women don't often say. Because men have been propositioned. You know what dating is like in 2023? I'll be honest with you. Get a girl's number. Got to wait a little bit before you call her, you text her. Clearly I'm a talker, so I'd rather call than text. And you call her a couple days later. Hey, how you doing? It's nice to meet you. Want to see what you got going on this weekend, maybe. You don't ask a woman out, you invite her. You don't like to invite you out to get a bite. And if her response is, oh, I'm just over here wondering how I'm going to pay all these bills, how I'm going to pay this rent. Click! Immediately there's an expectation of money. Every man who's dating nowadays knows that. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. My baby needs Pampers. You better call Giannis. Ain't Giannis and them giving away diapers? Giannis and what's her name? Mariah, his baby mama, expecting their third kid. They was just doing a diaper mission thing. Oh, I don't know. I just trying to figure out how I'm going to buy these diapers and pay this rent. So for the women that are bragging about men paying their bills, buying their Pampers for their kids, giving them money and all sorts of other stuff, you need to ask yourself what those women are doing to get that money. Because men that have money aren't always dumb. They did something or they have some kind of knowledge or some kind of intelligence to get the money. And they ain't just going to give it away. That's why I don't think the gold diggers are actually a real thing. Men know when they're giving their money away to a woman and they do it for a reason. They don't. You got to understand something, y'all. If men have money, like a lot of money, they did something wise and intelligent to acquire and to invest that money. You think they're just going to meet a woman, just give it all away to her? No, there's a transaction going on. But the women that are bragging about getting the money and getting flued out aren't talking about what they're doing to get the money and to get flued out. They're just telling y'all they're not doing anything. Oh, these men out here is tricks. Not exactly, baby girl. Tell the whole story. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
And what are some of the ways that you're inspiring people? Because, you know, one of the biggest opportunities, in particular in the African-American community, is access, exposure, and awareness.
For Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, we've been here 76 years.
Wow.
And our mantra is saving the lives you love. So if someone you love needs a blood transfusion and they're in any hospital in Southeast Wisconsin here, that blood's coming from us. And so we're trying to make sure that we're communicating that, because I think folks maybe don't understand that blood can't be manufactured. And summers are always tough because schools are out and we collect about 20 to 25% of our blood from schools. So it's always a day-to-day struggle. We say that the blood that's on the shelves is the blood that saves lives. And a lot of times people are compelled to donate when something bad happens. And our mission and our job is to educate folks so that we can get ahead of the curve and keep 3 days of inventory on the shelves. So we're in a decent spot right now, but we're on the streets every day trying to inspire people to join our mission. One of our big projects that we're proud of is Versity on King, which is part of the Thrive on collaboration in the Gimbel Schuster building on Martin Luther King Drive. And next year, we're going to open a destination center there. It'll be a blood donation center, but it'll be more than that, because we've realized that we can't be transactional with our relationships in the Black community. We need to do things that are intentional and that show that we're there to stay. But the reason that we're there is because not enough people that look like us donate. And so for disorders like sickle cell disease that disproportionately affect us, the race can matter. And I like to say that, Black folks have a superpower in their blood. 44% of Black blood donors will have this rare trait that makes their blood more likely to be able to be a match for a sickle cell patient. And that 44%, that is way higher than what we would find in other races.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Literally one call, that's all.
I made one call and that's all, worry-free.
One call, that's all. It worked.
Just one call and that's all.
They will do what they say they're going to do. One call and that's all.
One call, that's all means security.
It's literally one call, that's all.
It's a phrase we'll never forget.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Cleaning is never fun, but with Window Genie, you get more than 3 wishes. Window Genie provides services for cleaning gutters, windows, and tinting. They will help you maintain your home or business with regular pressure washing services, increasing the longevity of your property. And in the cold winter months, Window Genie will even hang your Christmas lights and decorations. Window Genie has all your window needs and more. Give them a call today or visit them at windowgenie.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The question was, or is, does being a man help or hurt a person's ability to get ahead in the United States? I wonder if women had the full realm of responsibility that men have. If they wouldn't even like it. Like if a woman sees somebody in physical danger, she's got to go help. If a woman gets pregnant, it's my fault as the woman. A woman is out in the world, wants to date. She meets a man. It's her responsibility to take care of him financially. Woman in the world. Oh no, I got to register for the draft. I might get sent off to war. I don't think women would like it. Well, my life expectancy is going to be cut short. Oh no, I have to do all these very dangerous jobs. I don't think women would like very much. Like being held 100% responsible for everything she says, even if she's mean and nasty and condescending, where women can be mean and nasty and condescending to other women and to men, and they just kind of trade words. Where if you have the same level of responsibility as a man, if you're mean, nasty, and condescending and use your tongue as a knife to stab somebody punches you in the face. Because that's what I expect. If I say something disrespectful to a dude, I'm expecting a fist. Men ain't going to argue like that. Men that are arguing, that do they puff their chests out, they don't want to fight. But they know that violence is looming. All it takes is one dude to swing. I don't think that women want it. So being a man does come with some disadvantages, but maybe the advantage is it's helpful in getting ahead in the United States. Gender gaps on this question persist among white adults, but there are no differences between black or Hispanic women and men on whether being a man helps. Women younger than 30 are more likely than women aged 30 and older to say that being a man helps a person get ahead. But they're not like specific. Get ahead in what? Just, it's got to be financially, because where else can you be ahead? In a track race? In sports, I guess? There are no age differences among men on whether being a man helps or hurts. Similarly, women with different levels of education have varying views of whether men have an advantage based on their gender. Women with a bachelor's degree or more are more likely than those with some college or less education to say that being a man helps. 79 versus 71%. Amongst men, there are no differences in views by these levels of education. There are also partisan differences on whether being a man helps or hurts a person's ability to get ahead in life. Among Republicans and independents who lean Republican, 43% say being a man helps, 22% say it hurts, and 34% say it neither helps nor hurts. By comparison, 77% of Democrats and independents who lean toward the Democratic Party say being a man helps. I think Democrats think a little bit more critically about the issue of race and gender, because Democrats have a political context for looking at gender. But if we look at the issue of abortion, I know there's other issues. Here's the part that has perplexed me, and this is going to be very politically incorrect, what I'm about to say, but you should be used to it from me by now. If a woman gets pregnant, meaning a man gets her pregnant, and let's say that the encounter was totally consensual. She wanted it, because I don't know if y'all know this. You guys know that sometimes women want sex? Has anybody ever? It's not like a duty that she is, like an obligation she has toward us. In fact, women can be frighteningly sexually aggressive. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, more power to you. But Red, stop it. Don't look at me like that, because y'all can be. Women they can seduce. And it can be very powerful. I got seduced once. She was older. I don't know what you said, Rhea. I don't think I want to know. She invited me to her office. She had a new office. She was an entrepreneur. Very professional job, very well regarded in her field, very attractive, very well put together, always dressed wonderfully well put together. Her hair, makeup, nails, always done. A real stunning lady. She and I started chatting. We had some professional overlap. We started chatting. What you want from me? She wanted to chat with Sherwin. Sherwin liked to chat now. So we chatted. She's like, hey, I'm moving into my new office. You should come check it out when I'm all settled. I said, I'd love to come and see your new office when you're all settled. Office was immaculate. It was almost set up like a house. Like the conference room looked like a living room, and she had all this technology everywhere and TVs. It was expertly decorated. She had art all over the place. And then in her office, she had this electric fireplace, had art on the walls and stuff. It was painted, and all these fantastic modern colors. She had really nice office furniture. I'm like, yo, look at you. But I expected nothing less from a woman of this class and caliber, okay? She even had a little bar. She said, hey, let me make you a drink. I said, I like this. And we're just chopping it up, just talking, right? Because we talked on the phone and we would text. We're just having a conversation in person. So she made me a drink. I'm sipping a little bit. She's sitting behind her desk. I'm sitting on the other side of her desk, almost like I'm getting interviewed. And then she has this like a chase lounge also in her office, you see. And she comes from around the desk, and she was wearing a skirt. And so when she was making the drink over at the bar, I wasn't really paying attention to her. I was just kind of looking around the office and looking at all the amenities she had in there and all this other stuff. But when she got up from behind the desk and brought her drink with her to go sit on the Chase Lounge, her skirt came up just a little bit, and I saw the top of those thigh highs, and they were lace. I was like, uh-oh, what? I didn't know she was wearing that underneath there. So she said, hey, why don't you come and join me over here on the couch? We can just chat over here. She said, it seems a little too formal, me sitting behind my desk and you're sitting in the chair in front of the desk. How about we go over here and sit on the little couch? Oh, yeah, let's sit on the couch. I'm still not thinking anything of it. All of a sudden, she reaches behind her and there's a dimmer switch on the lights. Okay? Dimmer switch on the lights, and then there's another switch. So here's what she did in one fell swoop. Man, this was game right here. Women are so much better than us at this. She dimmed the lights and then simultaneously put on the little electric fireplace. So now it's dim and you got the glow of the fireplace. And so she sat back down next to me on the couch. Now you got the glow of the fireplace. You got the lights that are dim. I don't even know when this woman did this, but it was candles burning too. Because I noticed the candles when the lights got dim. I was like, oh, well, this is comfortable. Give me another little sip of my drink. When she crossed her legs, then her skirt came up just a little bit again, exposing the top of those thigh-high stockings. Next thing I know, I was calling for Jesus. I didn't even know how it happened. All of a sudden, we were deep in the throes of passion. In her office, on her couch. And then the event was completed to everyone's satisfaction. And then she just got dressed and walked back behind that desk like nothing even happened. And I walked out in shame like a whore. I got seduced. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Telly Hughes, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is a show that's committed to creating a healthy space and dialogue every single morning for full transparency when it comes to issues and perspective through the African American lens. So listen to Truth Be Told with me, Telly Hughes, every day from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Hey, Rhea, what are you doing?
I'm online looking for a contractor to replace my roof, and I need a reliable company.
Have you contacted Excel Property and Contracting? They're located on 57th and North Avenue, and they have great reviews on Google, and they provide free estimates. In fact, they are doing storm damage inspections in the area. They'll come out, check on the exterior of your home for damage related to recent storms that may be covered by your insurance. To schedule your free inspection, contact Al Cole at 877-277-6817 or visit their website at excelprop.com.
Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 101.7 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette Hilltoppers football. Tune in this Friday night as the Hilltoppers hit the road to take on the Menominee Falls Phoenix. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Marquette Hilltoppers football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Liberty Engineering, and Marquette University High School.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas
And Telly Hughes.
from Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. And guess what?
What is that, DT?
Our Truth fans can now watch and stream us live every day, Telly.
Wait a minute, Denise. Let me make sure I got this thing right. Our amazing and incredible Truth fans can go to 1017thetruth.com, click the Watch Live link, and watch me and you do our thing live from YouTube and Twitter every morning?
Yes, Telly, that is exactly right. So now, they can watch you almost lose your black card every Friday during our Truth Telling Hits segment.
Come on now. You know I'm never losing my black card. But Truth Nation, you gotta tune into all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows, as you can not only listen live on the app, but you can also stream us live all day, every day by going to 1017thetruth.com and clicking the Watch Live link.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Truth is now home of Marquette University High School football. The Marquette Hilltoppers are on a roll and look to make it 4 wins in a row as they take on conference foe Menominee Falls. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. on Friday. High school sports on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all. Let's talk to. What you laughing at? What's so funny, man? What's so funny? It's not funny.
Yes, it is. Hello?
I'm here. I don't like being laughed at now.
Did you have your Pee Wee Herman suit on when you were seduced? Did you?
It's not funny.
That's my best impression of Pee Wee Herman.
And it was terrible. It was an awful impression of Pee Wee Herman. So here's what.
Thank you very much.
And so you're very
I know you
gay.
are, but what
Corey.
am I?
So I think there might be a bit of a difference of perception here because you're very, very gay. And so with women, women that want to have sex with men don't ever mention it. They rarely mention it. So when I went to go visit her, she had the whole thing planned out. I thought I was just coming to visit this woman to see her office. That was her plan.
What time of day was it? What time of night was it?
It was noon.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was during the day.
During the daytime? Oh, Lord, I wasn't even picturing it. You mean nobody else was in the office?
No, we were in her office, and her staff, they're usually out in the field on assignments. So it was just her, and plus her door to her office locked.
I bet it did. Click. Did she put on the Luther or the Peebo Bryson? Turn off the light.
There was no music, believe it or not.
So it was during the day, and so did you do the deed with your clothes on?
I'm not getting into all those details. I'm not going to get into all that.
Well, okay. Oh, well.
I'll let you use your imagination.
Well, you don't want to see what my imagination shows me. No.
No, I don't. Nope.
But I love that story. It's my favorite one.
All right. I have many more.
But, yeah. Well, God bless the lady who knows what she likes and had the wherewithal to go ahead and set it up. Yeah, that's a compliment to your sir. Yeah. But why did you feel dirty afterwards? Why did you feel like?
Because I think I'm used to women expecting emotional connection and pillow talk, and you just kind of lay around for a minute. Like she got dressed and just got right behind her desk and just started working again.
Wow, it's taking care of business.
That's
okay,
what it was a transaction, but the only exchange of anything is I think she had lunch there for me. She ordered Panera bread, so when I got there, we ate lunch.
Oh, I bet you did.
Hey, man, relax.
Yeah, all right. You have a great day, man.
You too.
I'm gay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Great. Oh, and of course, look who's online, too. Please keep this clean, Al.
I haven't even said anything yet, but I just wanted to share something with you. We're all adults, okay? We shouldn't be walking on eggshells.
No, but hold on. I know that. I know when you try to set up your comments, you say we're all adults and shouldn't be walking on eggshells. I am here to protect the integrity of my broadcast, and there are some listeners who don't want to hear certain things the way you put them, and we want to have respect for those people. Okay.
I understand that, but if they want to see some things that they don't want to respect, all they got to do is stand naked in front of the mirror, and the mirror never lies. May I proceed, please?
Oh, I only got a minute and a half, so make it snappy.
Well, only thing I was going to say is that I could respect a woman who knows what she wants, a woman who do not have her emotions attached because when you was in there and that vanilla filling was hitting that chocolate cupcake, she knew exactly what she wanted. And that's the kind of woman men should respect, because now you don't have to deal with monkey see, monkey do, and go around the game and play all those little emotional games. That's all I was going to tell you. See, if more men or more women was like that, you wouldn't have all these issues. She knew what she wanted. She got what she wanted. Now she went on with her day, which helped prove my point from yesterday. Your emotions should never touch your private part. But don't feel bad after the act. Just take a shower, and you'll be just fine. And you have yourself a happy hum day, and always wash your hands after you wipe. Take care.
Thank you, Al. Boy, that parting advice he gives is just, it's for the ages. All right, let's do this quickly. Bob, I only have about a minute and 20 seconds.
Sure, Sherwin. Your question was, does a man have more advantage in this world? Am I correct?
Yes. Men and women both agree that the world is more favorable toward men when it comes to getting ahead.
No, it's more favorable to a woman, but with a man with a somewhat IQ, he can maneuver, and whatever comes in, he's got to be logical and come out with logical answer. And one question, Sherwin, can you eliminate the 4-second delay?
It's 8 seconds and no. And now you have literally 8 seconds left. 3,
All
2,
right.
1.
I'll talk to you.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by American Family Insurance. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud new home of Marquette University High School football. Be sure to tune in to Marquette Hilltoppers football every Friday night at 7 p.m. as we bring you some of the best gridiron action in the area. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Liberty Engineering, and Marquette University High School.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help.
Anyone can call or text 988 or chat via 988wisconsin.org to get connected to a trained Lifeline counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you are concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I said I was going to talk about the Biden impeachment inquiry, just so you guys know what the Republicans are doing with their time. So think about what a major issue is in this country. I don't know, gun violence, crime, rich people not paying taxes. What's another one? Wages are too low. What's another issue? Global warming, if you're into that sort of thing. What's something else going on in the world? It's so many issues I can't even name none. Rhea, what's the issue? A big problem in the world, in the country, something that needs to be fixed, something we complain about. What's the issue?
Child sex trafficking.
Okay, child sex trafficking. There's a good one. Instead of the Republicans in the House of Representatives focused on any of that, they're trying to impeach Joe Biden, in which they've been looking for evidence to impeach him for 9 months and have come up with nothing. And even when you press some of these House Republicans, well, what information do you have? Well, that's coming. Okay. Well, we have a whistleblower. Okay. Well, who's the whistleblower and what information did they blow the whistle on? That's going to come pretty soon. Just you wait. Yet for some reason, that political party, and there's other things that go into the modern GOP that make it, let's just say, unsavory, that makes it a suitable option to Democrats who actually have positions and ideas and have set forth policy on all of the aforementioned issues. So Allie says, I'm a female that pays child support. I made more. I knew it was going to happen. I don't understand what the issue is. You make more, you make sure your kids are taken care of. So help me understand this, Allie. You are court ordered to pay child support, or you just give your ex, your baby daddy more money? Because child support ain't about who makes more money. It's about who has placement of the kids. So unless somebody says and goes to the court and says, I don't want child support, if the woman's income is low, no, how would I phrase this? If the man's income is high and the woman he has children with, no, that wouldn't work. Let's say the income's, no, that's not going to work. Okay, if the woman's income is lower than the man's, okay, the man makes more money, and for whatever reason, the man has placement of the children. They may have joint custody. Let's give the man both placement and custody. And he makes more money annually. The woman who's the mother of the children that doesn't have placement or custody still has to pay child support to take care of the kids. It doesn't matter how much money she makes. Because if a man makes less than a woman, and the woman, let's say it's flipped, she has placement and custody and makes more money. It don't matter if the man is making minimum wage, he still is going to owe child support because he doesn't have placement of those children. Unless they change the rules, child support is based upon who has placement, not even custody, but placement of the kids. And Allie goes on to say, I said, isn't child support based on placement? She said, we have 60-40 with me having more. I just made like 5x what he did. Okay. Was that court ordered though, Allie? Or is this just you giving more money to either? Are you giving the money to the kids, or are you giving your money to the man? Because unless they change the rules, and I don't think they have, child support is based upon the non-custodial parent having to pay to help the custodial parent with the expenses of the child. All right, Project Reclamation America says, let me read this one before I say it out loud. That's not worth reading. France says, personally, I have experienced men asking me for money or asking for help with their bills more than I've ever asked a man with money, or any of my friends have ever asked a man for money. Oh, yeah, no, it totally exists. There's dudes that ask women for money. There's some details I can go into about that. Some women aren't gonna get certain men unless they're paying them. You know, the inverse can be true as well. There's a perception that men that might be older or less attractive or not physically in shape, that they're going to have to use their money to get an attractive woman. Sure. We've seen those arrangements 1,000,001 times. But then there's some women that there's the only way that they're going to have access to certain really, really attractive men is if they're paying them, if they're giving them money, if they're supporting them and paying their bills. The same is true. Let's be abundantly clear. Any woman cannot get any man. There might be a perception that somebody might have fed y'all a bunch of nonsense. But no, a woman can't just, a 58-year-old woman ain't necessarily getting a 22-year-old professional athlete. That's not going to happen. It's rare. All right, let's see what else we got here. Jay says, not only click, but blocked. So that's when I was talking about if a man meets a woman and he calls her for the first time to have a conversation with her, to maybe invite her out to have dinner. And if a man asks her, hey, how you doing? What's going on? If her response to that in the initial phone call is, I'm just over here trying to figure out how I'm going to pay all these bills, Jay said he will not only hang up on her, but block her. That's extremely common. I don't know why so many women are not. It's not a lot, but it's enough. It's out there. There are women that are equating whether she's going to allow this man in her life or not based upon how much money he can give her. Make that make sense. And I get it. Everybody's time is valuable, but isn't his time more valuable than the woman who's asking for money? Because he obviously turned his time into money, right? She's turning her time into asking for it. Let's talk to Roberts. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir.
In terms of the discussion about child support, I have joint custody and placement.
Okay.
But I still pay child support to my ex for my 2 children, and that's based upon a percentage and the number of children to kind of balance out the incomes and, and how the children have been brought up.
You were also married to your ex, or were you just in a relationship that resulted in children? Okay. Well, is there an alimony agreement?
No, there was no alimony, just child support, and then there are incidentals, too, that come into play, with supporting children. So there are a lot of factors.
So I'm just talking about what's court ordered, though.
But,
so do you think that your child support payments could be in lieu of or a compromise versus alimony? Did you make more money than her? If that's too personal. Okay.
Yes. Oh, yes. 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 Okay. Yes, a lot more.
Oh.
But I was fine with paying support because it was about the children.
Right.
It wasn't about any feelings or negative feelings I had toward the ex. It was about, listen, I have an obligation to take care of my children whether I'm with her or not.
Absolutely. But I think you got off easy because some courts can order you to pay, yes, that child support, but also alimony too. So if you're just paying the child support, which is 17% for the first kid, 30% for 2, and whatever else it is, you might be getting a bit of a deal.
Well, no, I guess you can look at it like that, but I also carry health dental and vision insurance on my children. I take care of their needs when they're with me. So I guess I don't see it as a benefit. I just see it as doing what I need to do to take care of my children and keep them in the lifestyle that they were accustomed to, at least when I was married.
Sounds like you guys had an amicable divorce.
No.
Oh, it wasn't. What did you do, Robert? Did you cheat?
No. It was not amicable in terms of custody and placement.
Oh, sure.
So
who filed?
In that respect, it was not. She did.
Of course. What were her reasons?
I can't answer that question, but you can't force anybody to stay with you.
Fair enough.
All
right.
Yeah.
Did she
All right,
cheat?
thanks for taking my call. No.
All right. Thanks, Robert. Somebody cheated. Good for him, I guess. LT says, if you vote for a political party that has your best interest in mind and things keep getting worse like crime, it's not that political party's fault, nor is it the fault of white people. It is the fault of the criminals and whoever raised them. I don't care if felony burglary is $1,000 and that is now a misdemeanor. I better not be shoplifting anything like those people in California and Illinois. Then LT says being a black man hurts. The black part hurts. The man part kind of balances it out a little bit. I mean, it's better to be a black man than a black woman, isn't it? I guess it depends on who you ask. Bob, whose wisdom clearly is infinite, thinks that women have advantages. You know, I think in the grand scheme of things, when you lay it out in American society, there are some benefits to being a woman, like assumed protection and security. And there's some advantages to being a man, like our sky's the limit for us, right? The money we can make, the business opportunities that we get, the respect that men just get naturally when walking in a room. I think that may benefit us as well. We also do the most dangerous things. We have the most dangerous jobs. We die earliest. We're more likely to die in war and a whole bunch of other negative things, much more likely to commit suicide. There's a bunch of negative statistics impacting men. But I think ultimately you have to look at not man versus woman, but where the real advantages are is what country do you live in? What are the amenities and the benefits based upon your nationality? There are some countries where your education is free. Your health care is next to free. You know, all of your food in those countries is free of chemicals because they made all the poison stuff illegal. The air is cleaner. The water is cleaner. You know, there's more recreational activities where people are getting more exercise. They have a better quality of life in some of those places. So it's not necessarily man versus woman, but the nationality and what your country can actually provide for you that can aid in a better lifestyle. LT says, out of all the cases of police brutality, police murder, they federally charged the 5 black cops. I saw that. And then LT says the Black Lives Matter signs are still up in Shorewood. And then LT makes it clear he does not date women that have children. Oh, LT's not done. He says, I was seduced by an older woman when I was in high school. I met her at Victor's. Yikes. LT, I bet the drinking age was 18 when you were young. Did you have the 18 or the 19-year-old drinking age? Or was it 21 when you started drinking? LT says she took me to the porticos in Fox Point. At the time, it was very fancy condos. We went swimming, sat in the hot tub, did the deeds. She took me home to change clothes and dropped me off at school the next day. You sound like you were unsupervised. Mr. Mahdi says, you have no business dating a woman you not paying for, period. Cheap ass men. Mahdi, you mean to tell me that all the women that you date, all the women that may be dubious enough to date you, you believe that their time is worth your money? I don't know. It depends on who asks who out. Sometimes first dates can be Dutch. Who pays for the first date? Independent women. You don't need no man. Then pay. You want to be independent? Show financial independence. Or is that different? Don't make up the rules as you go. Either you strong and independent, don't need a man, meaning you don't need his security. You don't need his protection. You certainly don't need his wallet. Pay for the first date. I've had women pay for the first date. In fact, I rather enjoy it. And maybe they pay for the first date because they didn't want to feel like they owed me anything. And here's the thing. They don't owe me anything. I don't operate like that. If I buy a woman a drink or buy her dinner, she owes me nothing. She owes me a level of respect to be a decent human being, to not be nasty and mean and condescending. That's it. But I owe her the exact same thing. A lot of times when I pay, it is my pleasure. It is a deed that I am doing to show that it's, oh, this is my treat. I'm enjoying hanging out with you. But you can't do that with every woman. Ain't no way. Some women are not. What a drink cost nowadays? $10, $12, $13, $22. My time often is more valuable than a little $10, $12, $13, $14, $22. But some women are not worth that. And women, you can say the exact same thing. Some men are not worth any financial expenditure. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back. This whole conversation started with a Pew Research Center survey, which I probably should post in our Facebook group. Hughes views that most Americans say being a man helps a person get ahead in the United States. At some point, I probably should talk about the impeachment inquiry. Oh, we're going to give away a chance to win some money. Should we do that? Let's do it. And give you a chance to get 5 G's real quick on David Gruber.
One call, that's all.
Now is your chance to be entered to win our One Call, That's All $5,000 giveaway. Caller number 6 at 833-212-1017, and you'll be entered to win $5,000 from the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. Remember, if your loved one is injured in an accident, call Gruber Law Offices now. One call, that's all. Call number 6 and be entered to win $5,000 from Gruber Law Offices. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Our phone number is 833-212-1017. Call number 6, enter to win 5 G's. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Melanie Ricks, and I am Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee so much. I love how rich this city is in history, and I love how rich we are in the moment. I think that every day there's something new that our city accomplishes, but it's important that we keep remembering that it takes a village to be great, and I know that we can be great as long as we all stick together. So why not stick together and join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations, where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
To the best crew in baseball, this is for you. Join Brewers Fan Appreciation Weekend September 15th through the 17th. As a special thank you, enjoy buy one, get one beer on Friday the 15th. Gate giveaways all weekend, including 2024 Brewers ticket vouchers and a Fan Appreciation Night William Contreras bobblehead giveaway on Saturday the 16th. Grab your seats at brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Truth Nation, are you ready to become the best business leader you know you can be? Forever Media, which is a black-owned leading media company, is proudly presenting their Lead the Movement Business Conference. This premier event, hosted on September 29th, 2023 at the iconic Henry Meyer Festival Park, aims to equip attendees with the tools and knowledge to lead effectively, innovate talent acquisition, elevate their brand, and champion diversity and inclusion. It's time to level up. To learn more and purchase tickets, visit LTMconference.com.
If there was ever a time for disruptive thinking, it's right here, it's right now.
Thinking controls living. If I change the way I think, I can change the direction of where I'm going.
It's crucial to think outside the normal patterns that other people think, or you're just a face in the crowd.
Imagine a baby that stopped trying to get up and walk.
He would never be able to walk. He would be crippled by his own fear of falling.
All new.
You said something to me I will never forget.
Dr. Phil.
Hey, I'm Jessup Ricebeck.
And I'm Natalie Shepard from the CBS 58 News at 10.
We hear it all the time from viewers. Television news is too negative.
That's why we're trying something different at CBS 58.
We are your hometown station.
Join us every night at 10 on the CBS 58 News.
We've got our eye on AI. Can artificial intelligence write good music? We put AI to the test. Eye on AI. Monday at 10 on the CBS 58 News.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
"1017 The Truth," Sherwin Hughes for Axe Housing. You're paying too much for rent. I don't even know how much you pay for rent. I guarantee you're paying too much. If you work with Axe Housing, they can help you get a plan together, get a budget, even find you some money for down payment assistance if you're a first-time home buyer. And on average, your mortgage will be about $800 a month. They'll have a coach on staff that can assist you today. So if you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you should be. Go to axehousing.org and you can get started on a virtual home buying orientation. Axe coaches are here to help. That's axehousing.org. And 1017 The Truth Street Team, sponsored by the UW Credit Union, is coming to an event near you. Join the Truth Street Team tonight from 5 until 10 p.m. at the final Milwaukee night market of the summer. We'll be set up right in front of the 3rd Street Market Hall on Wisconsin Avenue. The new 1017 The Truth Street Team is sponsored by the UW Credit Union, and they are here forever you. I think Dr. Ken is broadcasting live, right? Oh, you're going to be there broadcasting with him, Rhea. You gonna be producing that show? Yeah. All right. I'm Dr. Ken. I'm at the 3rd Street Market Hall, night market. There's a bunch of people here. Let's talk to. All right, Linda. I know you got a lot to say.
Good morning, Sherwin, Professor Sherwin, and the Good Karma brand and Truth Nation. Good black and white people of Milwaukee.
Why do you leave out the Hispanics?
Sherwin, would you stop that? Because
and the Asians,
we're getting so politically, conscientious that it's just really petty. Because when you talk about when you talk about the spectrum of black and white, of course, all of the others are in between because basically all of them came from black. But because the racial issue is black and white, then we are automatically assume that, the variations of those colors are in there too. But let me just start with my comment with a positive one. Because I like what I'm seeing as a result of my contact with, and it's not just my contact, with Alderman Khalif Rainey. I see the improvement in the Sherman-Hampton area, and I'm just so elated. The horrible potholes that was over there by that Berryland apartment complex, housing complex.
Yes.
They resurfaced that street. Oh my God, where Tori Lowe and I went over and we cleaned up that area. Lord, they have resurfaced that street. They resurfacing Hampton from Titonia to I think Appleton or 60th, and people are upgrading their homes. It is just. I'm just so impressed. I'm so inspired to see that people are taking interest in investing in their homes and in their environment. It's uplifting it. Because we live in the hood, we don't have to look like we poor and impoverished, really. So I just want to say kudos to the people that are renovating their homes, upgrading their homes, and just doing the things that they should do to show, that we are good people and clean people. But as far as this conversation goes, Sherwin, you did say yesterday that you did not want to have any more conversations about, sexuality and relationships. So I don't understand why we are back at this conversation.
I do what I want, Linda.
But I know you do what you want, and I wish you would. But anyways, and I admire that. I really do, Sherwin. You're very gifted intellectual person, and I think that you have a great deal to offer to Milwaukee and to Truth Nation. We enjoy you. We love you. And I love you, without any strings attached. I'm not trying to get in bed with you. I'm not trying to do any of that. I just want to enjoy our experience and discover the great things that God, have in store for us to experience. It's just that we limit them to just, that sex and the orgasm. And I think that it's much more than that. I think it's much more than that.
Linda.
And I think that...
Linda, stop talking for a second. Let's go on a date. Let's go out to dinner.
Let's go out to dinner. Sounds good. Lamb chops?
We'll think about what we're going to order when we get there. But first, are you agreeing?
Yeah, Elder Prime.
Hold on, we'll discuss that later now. We ain't going to tell people where we going because a whole bunch of nosy people will show up. Would you like to go on a date with me?
I'm checking out your huge views on Facebook as we speak.
Linda, do you want to go on a date? Yes or no?
Let's go.
All right. No.
Right now?
No. I just want to see if you would.
Right now?
No.
Let's go. 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. I'm an out-of-the-box kind of person. I don't want regular. I don't want normal. I don't want average.
Okay. I just wanted to see if you would say yes.
And you're not average, and I'm not average.
Talking
That's
about
why
you don't
I know
want me. I'm the only thing
we
you want, Linda. I'm the last thought on your mind when you go to bed. The first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning.
You better believe that.
Exactly. I know you want it, Linda, but you
And
can't
that
have
goes
it.
both ways.
You can't have it, Linda. You cannot. This is not for you. You can't have it.
I want it. I want all of it.
I know you, but you can't have it. I think that's why you want it, because you know you can't get it.
I want it all over me from head to toe.
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Gonna get it.
Call me Miss Nasty.
I have to go now, Linda.
Okay, Sherwin.
Goodbye, Linda. Good.
Bye-bye.
I knew it. I don't want to do all that stuff with you, Sherwin. Linda, let's go on a date. Okay, 4 o'clock in the morning, lamb chops. Ain't nobody eating no lamb chops. She might have a different thing in mind. When she says lamb chops, she might mean something else. Brittany says, what did Brittany say? Miss Shack knows she wants you in bed. Hey, thank you. I don't want to do that, Sherwin. Don't even get me started. Remember, there's a 90-plus-year-old woman that's listening, and we're going to keep this show at an acceptable level. We're not going to get explicit. I was compelled to tell the story earlier about how I was seduced because I didn't see it coming, because women are so incredibly subtle. Men need to learn from women in that regard. That is where I certainly believe that women have the advantage. Women will have the sexual encounter already planned out and played out in her mind and will never even mention it. Because if she mentions it to the man, we'll find a way to ruin it. We have to go into a scenario blind with zero expectation. Because if you give a man an expectation, we're gonna ruin it. I literally thought I was visiting a woman that I had known for a little while. I had known her professionally, and she had moved into a really, really nice new office where she owned the business. And I thought she was just inviting me after my radio show at the time to have lunch with her. And she asked me what I wanted for lunch. She was like, it'll be here when you get here. Perfect. I didn't know what she had planned for me. I think that next show, because it was during the week, the next radio show I did, I think I told y'all about it. Or at least I told Carrie about it. I don't know if I made a segment out of it, because it was refreshing. Because men don't always want to have to make the first move all the time. It's nice to be moved on. Vanessa says, don't do it, Sherwin. Don't go on a date with Linda. Don't do it. Well, why not? Now you got me thinking I should. CR Note says, I can't read that. But if I did go out with Linda, CR Note, that is probably what her expectations would be. I would go into it with an open mind. We would just hang out. But if Linda had a couple drinks in her, I'd be afraid. Linda's a cougar. Y'all saw it? Did you all see the video of when I encountered her at our Truth? What did we do? We did a Truth Festival. Truth Family Fest. I was there saying hello to people, walking around, checking stuff out. And all of a sudden, it was in slow motion the way it happened. I saw Carrie, and Carrie set me up. Carrie said, "Hey, Sherwin, there's somebody here that wants to see you. Somebody's been looking for you." I didn't have any idea who that could have been. Somebody's always looking for me. And right before I could even turn around, it was all in slow motion. Linda's running full speed with some heels on and just attacks me. And then she wraps her leg around my body. And Carrie video recorded the entire thing and put it on our Instagram page. It was a setup. And that's how she acted out in public at Riverside High School in the parking lot. Linda get me behind closed doors, I'm probably going to walk away with a limp. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said he is launching an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden, yielding to mounting pressure from President Donald Trump and his allies in what's shaping up to be an election year clash between Congress and the White House. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Associated Bank, they know opportunity can't wait. If you're a female or minority small business owner, their community uplift loans could be for you. Loans range from $5,000 to $50,000. Get funds in as little as one business day. Talk to a relationship manager today about a community uplift loan and other business banking services. Call 800-270-7725. Visit AssociatedBank.com or stop by your local branch. Because you help build the Midwest and your neighborhoods, they got your back. Associated Bank, your money works here. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Wisconsin.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Call my guy Al Cole over at Excel Property and Contracting. They're located right on 57th and North Avenue, and yes, they're a black-owned business. Contact them for free estimates. In fact, right now they're in the area doing storm damage inspections in the Milwaukee area. Speaking of which, my power went out last night because of those storms. So if you have some damage to your property, the folks over at Excel Property and Contracting will check it out for you. They'll come to your home, check out the exterior of your property for damage that could have been caused by the recent storm, and that damage could be covered by your insurance. They also can point out maintenance items that could be a problem for you and your rental property in the future. They also provide remodeling services, property management, and cleaning services to clean up after those sloppy tenants when they move out. Call Al Cole at 877-277-6817. That's 877-277-6817, or visit their website at xlprop.com. All right, y'all are some fools. Who said this? Who is that? Saint Spender says this on YouTube. Yo, the date the Truth Nation has been waiting for. If Linda and I decided to go out, I'd have to record it, right? I have to have Carrie come along and just put it on our Instagram. Because that way Linda would stay on her best behavior if there's a camera running. Well, maybe she wouldn't. I'm not doing that. You think I should, Rhea? What do you think? Should I go out with Linda?
Do it. Do one date. She's beautiful. Why not?
Who's paying?
You?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why am I paying?
You asked her.
Damn it. We'll go Dutch.
What?
Okay, if I'm paying, then I'm picking.
Yeah, you asked.
Do I got to drive?
She'll walk, I'm sure.
She probably would walk. Okay, it's a bad idea. We get on a regular topic here. In a statement yesterday, Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy said the House investigations into the Biden family have uncovered a, quote, culture of corruption that demands a deeper review. These are allegations of abuse of power, obstruction, and corruption. In a statement yesterday, McCarthy said the House investigations into the Biden family this year have uncovered a culture of corruption that demands a deeper review. These allegations, I've already read that. McCarthy said he will direct the chairman of the House Judiciary Oversight and Ways and Means Committees to lead the impeachment inquiry. So the U.S. senators have already said, the Republicans said this is a fool's errand and a bad idea. 18 members of the House of Representatives who are elected as Republicans but are representing people in congressional districts that Joe Biden won are laughing at Kevin McCarthy. This is the deal he had to make with Marjorie Taylor Greene and others to get enough votes to become Speaker. And what it's going to do, it is going to tank the Republicans' prospects of having a majority in the House in 2024 and moving forward. And I say, let them do it. Even what they're accusing Joe Biden of wasn't even when he was president. You can't impeach somebody who's president now for things you were accusing him of doing when he was vice president, which is crazy because what Jared and Ivanka did while they were serving as advisors for President Trump, they made billions of dollars off of business dealings and contracts with the Saudis. But ain't nobody trying to impeach Trump for that because we had real stuff to impeach Trump for. So there's all of that nonsense and noise that the Republicans are trying to drum up to try and give people a reason to stay away from Democrats and Joe Biden. The other thing is if you're a black Republican, and God bless you, right? Do whatever you got to do. But it's wholly offensive that there is a political party that does not want to teach history, especially because black people will see their significant place in it. It is wholly offensive that there is a political party that does not think that racism exists. And how do I know? Because Tim Scott, who's a senator from South Carolina, says it doesn't exist. It is wholly offensive that there's a whole political party that says all these disparities that exist are because black people are lazy and because they come from single mother homes, meaning they will never, ever search for solutions deep within America to try and remedy some of these disparities. And here's the thing. We always tell black people about how important your vote is. we guilt y'all to death by saying, ooh, somebody fought and died for your right to vote. You better use it. I don't think that works anymore. Usually when we say that, it falls on deaf ears because we've heard it so many times. But if we do say that again, like, there's a reason for it. The only time white people have fought and died for the right to vote is when they were fighting for us. So they don't even know what that's like, to lose members of your community to fight for something that should have been afforded to us immediately. But if you're a black Republican and a true patriot, and here's what they don't do. This is how I know that they're phony. They know that they are rare. A lot of African Americans either don't vote or vote for Democrats, right? That goes without saying. But the fact that they tried to overturn the 2020 election means our ancestry that fought and died for the right to vote should be turning over in their graves because people are trying to say that our votes that we cast for Democrats don't count and shouldn't count. So if we're telling black folks, hey, our ancestors fought and died for your right to vote, then we should be even more upset that they're trying to discount the votes that we cast in 4 battleground states for Joe Biden. So even black Republicans should say, hey, you know what? I know that a lot of black folks don't vote for, the Republican Party, but they should be just as offended when their political party is trying to deny the votes of black people in their attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Because it's basically them saying that our votes were fake, fraudulent, and didn't count, that we are the ones that cheated. And black Republicans, if they were worth anything, would say, hey, that's not fair for my party. A black Republican would say, not me, to discount black people's vote. Admit it, right? Black folks in a larger number voted for Joe Biden over Donald Trump. But if a black Republican is going to sit idle knowing that their ancestors and my ancestors, our ancestors died for us to have that right to vote, they at least should be sticking up for that. But they're not. Vanessa says, no cameras. You pay. It's a date. Of course you pick her up. Brittany says, just go on one date with her, Sherwin. Fabian says, Linda should be held to the same consequences as Al. 262366 says, what she seems like she got a good head on her shoulder. Apparently Miss Shaq only has one shoulder. Terry says, hey, Sherwin, here's a question for the people. And the question is as follows. So if a female takes a man out, does he have to give it up at the end of the night? Well, yeah, if she wants it. You ever told a woman no? They don't take it they don't take it well. When a woman, not all women, let me calm down for a second. Y'all get mad when I generalize. If a woman has in her mind that she wants to be intimate with this man, like she's planned it out, she's looking forward to it, and he may be none the wiser, but if she has already consented in her mind that she wants to be with this man, then she's looking forward to it because she knows that, well, he's a man. All men want to do is just have sex all the time. So she's not thinking in a million years that he may say no or that she's a turnoff. She's not thinking that. And when you tell a woman no, because they think, y'all got to stop thinking you're doing us a favor when you're consenting or wanting to have sex with us. Let me be clear. It's not a favor. I don't know if women appreciate how many other women throw sex at men. Y'all make it seem like it's hard to get or that women don't literally throw themselves. Dudes, we just keep it quiet. Y'all are in our inboxes too. We just don't say nothing. But what women do, when a man is in her inbox, what she do? She try to embarrass him. She screenshots it. She posts it. She sends it to the man's wife or his girlfriend. Dudes, we don't be doing that. And some wives is in dudes' inboxes DMing them, and we ain't petty like that. A dude is not like, oh, this woman is inboxing me wanting to hang out. Let me screenshot it and send it to her husband. And listen, it ain't none of my business. If a woman who is married or in a relationship is sending me or other men messages, most men just charge it to the game. It's like, okay, it is what it is. We don't make a big deal out of it. Oh, women have a fit. Hey, girl, get your man. He in my inbox. Y'all in our inboxes, too. I don't need to chill. We'll take a break, come back and talk to Renee on the other side. She has a movie comment. This will be interesting. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back in a minute or two.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. This show has meant so much to me because it's an opportunity for me to express my thoughts and my feelings to my community, and for my community to express those same thoughts and feelings right back to me. Milwaukee means a lot to me. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and I'm committed to making this a better city. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
When you open an Educators Credit Union checking account, you can say goodbye to surprise fees and hello to a whole lot of perks. Enjoy rewards, cashback, discounts, and card customization with their convenient digital services and nationwide network of over 60,000 fee-free ATMs. You can always access your account anytime, anywhere. Join Educators Credit Union today and take advantage of all the benefits that come with a checking account. Get started at ecu.com, federally insured by NCUA.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
My mom used to always tell me, be careful of the company you keep. My interpretation of that message was, don't hang out around bad people doing bad things. When my thoughts became a little more sophisticated, I realized it was her way of making me understand the power of influence others can have on your decisions. No matter the distance perception might be from reality, you are or will become who you hang around. Benefit by surrounding yourself with like-minded people or mentors you can see yourself becoming and use their journey as a blueprint. That's why you don't see eagles hanging with pigeons, because they don't have the same goals or aspirations. Words are just words when you don't understand or practice the meaning. So I had to turn to one of my favorite books. That's right, sounds nerdy, but I went to the old dictionary to look up the word company. One of the definitions of company is the fact or condition of being with another or others, especially in a way that provides friendship and enjoyment. In addition to that definition, keep in mind the company you keep is a choice. The company you keep can propel you to great heights or rob you of all your hopes and dreams based on your association or who is championing you. Don't be afraid to stand up and stand out for the right reasons, even if that means having to do it alone, because sooner or later, others will understand.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Black-owned business Give Back is back. We've again teamed up with Associated Bank to help local black businesses grow and succeed. We're going to give away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising to 5 black businesses each quarter this year. To sign up for this incredible opportunity, all you got to do is go to blackbusinessgiveback.com for official contest rules. Go to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank is a member of the FDIC. So this is Sylvia said on the YouTube that I should go out with Miss Shaq and make it last forever. Yes, I did read it. I think so. Yeah, I did. All right, let's talk to Renee. Hello, Renee. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Hughes. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
Do you like Clint Eastwood movies?
They're a little bit before my time, but I did used to watch them with my father. The Dirty
Okay,
Dozen, wasn't The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Those are from like the 60s.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then he made one called Play Misty for Me. And that was about a radio talk show host that went out with one of his callers.
You're kidding.
When you have a, yes, and but don't turn out real good. So if you get a chance, make sure you rent that movie with your father and look at it. And there's another one called Fatal Attraction.
Oh, I know that one.
Sometimes we get our little clues from the movies. So you take the time and rent that movie right quick.
So what's the Clint Eastwood movie? What's that one called again?
Play Misty for Me.
Play Misty.
And he was a DJ, yes. And this lady, she had his nose wide open. And when he finally met up with her, it didn't come out real good.
Ooh.
It's one of those fatal attraction things. So, and this is back in the 60s too. But, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay.
Wait, which one is the old dog?
Well, I shouldn't have said that one.
Okay. Thank you for your advice.
But I'm just saying, be careful.
All right, Renee, I'll take your advice and I'll be careful and I'll watch Play Misty for Me.
Play Misty for Me. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye, Renee. You know, Clint Eastwood did make more modern movies. In fact, The Mule was one. He's won Oscars recently, but I think she was talking about his older movies. All right, let's see. Play Misty for me. Let me see. I never even heard of it. Oh, this is a horror film. Oh, no. Play Misty for Me is a 1971 American psychological thriller. A film directed by and starring Clint Eastwood in his directorial debut. Jessica Walter and Donna Mills co-star. The plot. Dave Garver is a KRML radio disc jockey who broadcasts nightly from a studio in Carmel by the Sea, California, often incorporating poetry into his program. Okay. After work at his favorite bar, playing a nonsensical game involving corks and bottle caps with the barman, he deliberately attracts the attention of a woman named Evelyn Draper. Dave drives her home, where she reveals that her presence in the bar was not accidental. It was, in fact, who sought him out after hearing the bar mentioned on his radio show. He guesses correctly that she is the recurring caller who always requests the jazz song Misty. The two then have sex. A casual relationship begins between Dave and Evelyn, but before long, Evelyn begins to display obsessive behavior and volatile personality traits that alarm Dave. She shows up at Dave's house uninvited, follows him to work, and calls to demand that he not leave her alone for a single minute. The final straw comes when jealous Evelyn disrupts a business meeting, mistaking Dave's lunch companion for his date and ruining a major opportunity for his career. His efforts to gently sever ties with Evelyn lead her to attempt suicide in his home by slashing her wrists. After Dave rejects her again for trying to blackmail him with her injuries, Evelyn breaks into his home and housekeeper Birdie finds her vandalizing his possessions. Evelyn stabs Birdie, who is hospitalized but survives and is subsequently committed to a psychiatric hospital. So I shouldn't go out with Miss Shack is what you're saying. And Clint Eastwood is telling me not to go out with Miss Shack. Okay, well, sorry, Linda. I ain't having you stab my housekeeper. Have you barging in on a business meeting with me and another woman and have you think it's my date, Linda. Can't. Look at y'all. All y'all in the text messages over here at 833-212-1017 encouraging me to get fatally attracted by Linda. Al from Sherman Park says, Sherwin, the caller that you said was too gay implied that gay men don't understand women in heat. Have you ever seen women try to seduce gay men, especially at a gay bar? No. Well, I ain't never seen that. But I have heard that straight men that go to gay bars do very well with straight women because there's an assumption that all of the men or most of the men in gay bars are gay men, and women can feel a lot more comfortable around gay men than they can straight men, so they'll dance with you and do all sorts of stuff. This is what I've heard. I've never witnessed it. But I also don't need to go to a gay bar to operate under the assumption that I'm gay so I can catch a heterosexual woman with her guard down because she thinks I'm gay. I don't need to do that. I don't have to go to the game. The game comes to your boy. Two Black says, no, Sherwin, the court wants the home life in both homes to be equal. So if the woman makes more money, she pays for child support. You know, I had no idea. I thought the child support was based upon the non-custodial parent having to pay a share of their income to make up for the fact that they don't have placement of the children. Or I was operating under the assumption that it wasn't like a 60-40 custody agreement. We were talking about the advantages that men and or women have in American society, and we talked about women that pay child support, and we actually heard from a woman that pays child support based upon her income being higher than that of the biological father, which I thought was very interesting. All right. Did we accomplish anything today? Rhea says no. Well, it's your fault too, Rhea. You produced it. You produced 3 hours worth of nothing. Well, we learned that Linda's going to kill me. So we learned that. Joe Biden is getting impeached. Black Republicans say nothing when the Republican Party seeks to overturn black votes. There's fascism in America. That's right, because we're not distancing ourselves from things that are threatening our democracy. And Bob called, and Al called, and I got seduced. And I think that's pretty much about it. Well, thank you guys for calling and listening and texting, and make sure you follow us on all the social media and join my Facebook group, Hughes Views, for more information about anything I discussed today. I'll see you next time.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection